209th day of the sex offender administration. Jonathan Manufo is the latest pardoned U.S. Capitol rat defendant to again run afoul of the law. In a court filing Wednesday in Richmond, Virginia, the Justice Department said Manufo had absconded from, quote, supervision in the Northern District of New York, close quote. That's so cute. White Manufos abscond, and the other mofo would be running away. 5 Republicans joined Democrats on the House Oversight Committee on Wednesday to subpoena the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to answer questions over the Justice Department's handling of files regarding the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation. Look for Pam Bondi to abscond from the truth. Timothy Parsons, a longtime Justice Department employee, has been arrested and charged in a child pornography case. According to an FBI affidavit, Parsons received multiple videos and 2 images with child abuse material. The charging documents also allege Parsons responded to the images with sexually charged responses, including, "That is so hot." You know what else Parsons found hot? The way children's clothes just abscond from their little bodies. Senator Steve Daines of Montana, a close ally of Donald Trump, said he wouldn't run for re-election this year, formally exiting the race shortly before the filing deadline closed for candidates in his state on Wednesday. Daines didn't give a reason for his decision. He's probably tired of helping Trump abscond from justice. This has been a Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines for March 5th, 2026, the 409th day of the sex offender administration. Join me live at the Church of Last Resort Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Minddog TV.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact.
Gonna have to have HR call the Rev in
and corrections are
for a little
encouraged.
performance review.
We got a cup of coffee in here, please.
I didn't have buttons. I have buttons.
Damn good coffee and hot.
Yeah, I forgot to push the button on the
My dog is your mind's best friend.
He's yellow.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
I think we got to add a little red.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Yeah. What do we got today? All right. What do we got happening? It's like somebody's beat and repeat. Somebody, not me. I would never repeat. Hello. Maybe I do. I don't know. Good morning, you. Good morning, you. Yes, it's, oh, Jesus. It's Thursday. The day you forget to hit the button on the coffee machine. Thursday, March 5th, 2026. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. I think Reverend the Rev mispronounced his own name in there. Did it say Helly Roll? I think he said Helly Roll. I should play just the beginning and let's do a double. Listen closely. What does he say here?
This is Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines.
Yelly. It wasn't not so clear on the jelly. Jelly on your belly, smelly belly. Go to helly. Anyway, I'm in a dopey mood because I'm a dope. Today in the second hour we have Richard Sparks, who is a British English born, which is different than British. somehow. Author who used to be a comedy writer, and we'll talk about. He's got like sci-fi books. I talked about sci-fi books last night on my show. Had a author Douglas E. Richards and Fan Feynman. So I was talking a lot about Feynman because I had the opportunity to. Anyway, yeah, what's going on today? Yeah, I'm sick of tired. Every day, it's just the same shitty news. I'm sorry. It's just the same shitty news. And I'm sick of it. So there's that. Are you sick of it? Is there anything we could do about it? I don't know. Congress had, if I get this correctly, and they might not have this correctly because I was busy trying to snore, but I couldn't snore. They had the opportunity to say, no, we own the war powers. And they, instead of saying that, they said, no, we'll give it up to Dopey Dementia Don, Diaper Don. Thank you. Thank you for not doing your job once again, Congress. What good is it? And now they're going to call in Pam Bondi. Didn't we do this already? What? Didn't we just do this? The Pam Bondi. You're a bad lawyer, you bad lawyer. Where's my burn book? And then everybody wanted to fire her, and then she didn't get fired. And then they're going to call her in again and say, all right, get your burn book out. I mean, have we had enough? Have we not had enough? I've had enough. But what are you going to do about it? You're going to do nothing about it. I'm sitting here moaning and bitching about it, right? I should be drinking wine, shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? And I say shouldn't I, knowing that I'm like the Reverend Helly Roll. I can't pronounce shit because shouldn't I, right? Like me. Well, that's a loud Wine Express thing. Let me tell you about Wine Express since you brought it up. Wine Express, I'm not even, well, maybe I should. I'll show you this thing, right? All right, I'll show you that thing. WineExpress.com is the exclusive wine shop partner of the Wine Enthusiast catalog and website, which have been providing quality wine accessories and storage for 40 years. How do they provide storage? Yeah, we'll hold your wine for you. Call them up and ask them today. I want somebody to get me an answer on that. During that time, they've served millions of satisfied customers and built a loyal following of avid wine lovers, which GG likes to call them winos, which I find degrading, and but whatever. Wine lovers, winos, yeah, that part we covered that part already. It's only natural then. It's only natural, but then for them to have teamed up with the great wine shop to bring their customers first quality wines at value prices. And right now, if you act right now, let me see how you act. Can you do a little Othello? I don't know. Do a little Macbeth for me. If you act right now, you can get free shipping. You buy enough wine to make Sam Talent mad again. And I'll tell you what I mean by that whenever you ask me about what the hell are you talking about, Sam Talent. WineExpress.com. The link's in the description. Go get yourself some wine. Get wined up. I would if I wasn't fucking broke. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to say fucking. If I wasn't broke, I would be out getting wine. Instead, I'm drinking coffee. Anyway, WineExpress.com. Ladies and gentlemen, as I fade out like a professional DJ almost, except like an amateur DJ more so, in the room with me now. Why did we just switch looks there? Oh, because we have the wrong background. Is that why? Are you getting upset about the background? Thought I pushed this one. Yeah, I'm gonna fade out like look. Watch how I fade. See how I fade. In the room with me now is a man who never drinks wine on the job, but likes to change backgrounds or layouts because he doesn't like the background or something. GD finished it. Look at this. It's fading. It's fading. It's fading.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com.
Fading.
Go to MindDogTV.com/merch because guess what? There's only 11 days before St. Patrick's Day. Plenty of time for you to order your St. Patrick's gear. Maybe not enough time for you to receive it, but plenty of time for you to order it. Spend your green on our green at MindDogTV.com/merch. Support your local mercenaries and enjoy their suffering.
All right. 11 days. That's wow. All right then. St. Patrick's Day. I got to get out and I got to get wine, right? Because wine is the big thing for St. Patrick's Day at wineexpress.com, and then they will ship it free.
Yeah, but it has to be made out of clovers.
All right. Well, last night, before my show, it turns out Sam Talent has started a live stream on Wednesday nights right before my show. Isn't that nice? I get to watch Sam Talent do a live stream from, I don't know if it's from, it looked like it was from a double wide trailer. Before I do my show, and that's a nice thing. Don't you think that's a nice thing?
I guess. What's it about? An hour long? What's it about?
I think it's about 2 hours long. But also at the same time, Andy Andrus and Doug Stanhope were doing a live stream. This is just off the cuff with a guy named Monkey Keg. And listen, Monkey, try not to be too judgmental about music, but Monkey Keg is not for me. Can we just say he's not for me? He's not for me. He's a guy. He crosses. You know how people mix genres? Well, he mixes genres between white boy rap and screamo metal, and like screamo metal where they there's a bomb in my car, whatever. So it's not for me. And apparently that's all he does. This is the guy's entire living. And he was saying like what he does on the side, like on the side, is there income from that? No, like, so how do you live on absolutely no income whatsoever? It's not like he's got any government assistance or anything. All he does is play, scream with Monkey Keg. And Monkey Keg is a guitar player, a drummer, and a screamer, no bass player. Sound good? Sound like you're signing up to go to a show, right? You're excited about checking out Monkey Keg.
I was just thinking, what would I do with my life if I didn't have that?
Yeah. So I got distracted here. So they were doing a live stream at the same time, and then they started. I was watching the Stanhope thing, and then he called Sam Talent because he said, "Oh, Sam's doing a live stream." I was like, "Oh, why am I watching you guys?" Then I'll watch Sam. I got a little upset when I saw Sam. Now, most people would say losing weight is a good thing, right? Because Sam looks very thin down. He used to be pretty, but he's also balding. He looks sickly. You know what? Some people would say, "Oh, good for you. You're losing weight," and I'm worried. I'm concerned about him. There's a fine line between losing weight and getting healthy. Or do you have cancer? I'm sorry, but I mean that's what it felt like. And it's kind of scary looking at. Yeah, you ever see somebody like that? Oh, you notice how much weight he's looking so good. Really? Not good. Not good. Not you can lose weight and not look good. I guess that's the point.
Yeah, that's true. I know quite a few people, and especially if it's unexpected. I mean, I guess if you see them on a regular basis and it's very gradual, then it's not so bad. But if you see them once in a great while, and then like they're one shape one time, and then the next time you see them, they have morphed into a completely different body, then you say like, what's going on?
Yeah, and
then you don't know if you should say congratulations on the weight loss or congratulations on the cancer.
That's what I want. My point, yeah, because and first of all, it's not that long. Like within a year, maybe if you lose 100 pounds in a year, you got to think, wow, what's a great exercise diet you're on, or do you have cancer? And that's about the time it's been. I think I saw Sam in person about a year ago, last March, and he was his old self. Is chubby. And listen, there's a good thing. Chubby Behemoth, or whatever. That was his nickname. But it's to lose a lot of weight really fast is concerning, and he doesn't look healthy. I hate to say that because I love him, and if he's doing it and it's natural and he's not sick, then what a dick I sound like right now, right? Yes.
Well, wouldn't you sound like a dick anyway? I mean, today you just
when my mouth is open, I'm definitely sounding like a dick, but otherwise I'm not.
I mean, you sound, you're picking on somebody that you happen to, at least I thought that you used to like him. It sounds to me like that you just willing to just throw him under the bus and say, fuck him.
No,
Who cares about sound talent anymore?
no,
I hope he gets sick and dies of ass cancer. Oh my God,
no,
look how
that's
thin
not
he is.
what.
Looks like he has ass cancer.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I
No,
hope
but
he
that's what it
doesn't die.
sounds like. That's what it sounds like on this side of the microphone.
Well, you got to fix your microphone, or your ears, your earbuds, or something. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm concerned. I'm concerned. I was when I first tuned in. I was like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with Sam?" But it was his old jovial self. Don't get me wrong. He was happy and he was conversational, and so he's two episodes in. I think he's going to do this every Wednesday night. I didn't mention anything to him, and I didn't. People chatting at them. All these guys got chat rooms throwing money at them left and right. We don't. We never had that. Why?
No,
Because of you.
no.
It's because of you.
Well, that's true. It is my fault, and I own it. I own it. I chased away your best guest. I chased away your best co-host.
Oh no, you didn't. You know what? My best co-host was Kiera, and
I chased her away.
No, Andy Andrews scared her away because he made her feel stupid about her Christianity. That's what.
How can you make somebody feel stupid about something that's so dumb? I'll just tease it.
I hope she's not listening. And I'm sure she's not. Yeah, I'm sure she's not. Speaking of people pushed away, I thought yesterday I talked about how I wish happy birthday to people I don't know on Facebook every day. Right. This morning, John Bivens came up. You remember John Bivens?
Oh yeah.
Mr. John. No, Mr. John, the preacher guy who would argue with the Rev. He would come in here.
Right. I forgot.
And I told him, get the fuck off my page. He was calling me up through Facebook.
Right.
Why does Facebook even allow this fucking kind of? But he was calling me up like 1:00 in the morning and wanting to preach at me. Like, what the fuck? And then leaving these long sermons on voicemail on Facebook. And I told him to get to, but he's still apparently still on my friends list somehow. That wasn't enough to tell him, get the fuck out of my life. Don't bother me. He's still there. I didn't wish him a happy. I couldn't, because then I feel like if I wished him a happy birthday,
you would have started a conversation up again, and he would have said,
would
"Thanks, man. I thought you hated me, but apparently you don't. Apparently you missed me, and I missed you too, man. Have you heard the good word about the Lord, our Lord and Savior?
Yeah, exactly.
Birthday cake, our Lord and Savior birthday cake. Yeah.
Oh my God, it would have just been. I would have been going to hell all over again. And listen, this whole idea of hell. Is this hell? Is this hell right here, right now? Right? This, because if so, it's not.
I want you to know that the text for what the Reverend does is AI, and AI doesn't have a lot of tolerance for the way he talks, but it gets jelly right. It always gets the J. I mean, it doesn't always get the jelly, but it gets the J. It always gets the J sound. Sometimes it comes up jolly. It prints up jolly roll, not even roll, jolly roll,
But I don't know. This morning's the first time this morning's the first time I was like, what did they say? Heli roll? Heli roll.
You're just just trying to pay him back for walk around nappy.
Oh no. I don't even. I kind of like him walk around nappy now that I think of that. I said it all as one word. Happy nappy. Walk around nappy. Walking around happy, nappy. That's what it is.
Walk around nappy.
So Alex Jones crying real tears. He does this a lot.
First of all, I don't think he's ever cried real tears. I think when the doctor smacked him when he was born, he went, I'm so distressed about what I'm seeing in the womb. It's so distressing.
Walk around. See, the nicest guy gets me. His evil twin doesn't get me, but he gets me. Walk around nappy.
Yeah, but so there's no happy in there. So
right. No, there isn't.
Walk around nappy. That's what I'm saying. Walk around nappy.
The N and around without the D, and then you take the D and the H out. Put them together.
Why not just take out the A, the R, the O, the U, the A, and the P, and what say nigh? I mean, come on.
We could just leave the W. We could just leave the W and go.
Yeah. Why not just take out all the consonants?
All right, take out everything. Just take out the whole song.
Yeah.
All right.
Just leave the ending. After the last note, the silence. Just leave the silence after the end of the song.
Walk around happy is it's losing a lot of weight. It's looking a little sickly. That's what it is. It's looking a little. Anyway, well, Alex Jones is crying real tears because Nick the Nazi said he was going to vote Democrat. But I mean, if they're fake tears, they're kind of like magic tears because they were rolling down his face. They were not like Erica Kirk tears where she goes like this. He had real water coming out of his eyes. Now it could be like a magic trick.
Yeah, look in Hollywood when they want you to cry real tears, they like put a little onion on your finger, and you go like, "I'm so upset," and then the onion goes, and you start crying.
I gotta cry. Hold on a second. Where's my onion? Well,
you put the oil on your finger and you touch your face like this.
Right. What was that pop?
That's no. Big,
oh no! Did you hear that pop?
That was my cherry.
Oh.
I know it was a delayed reaction. My cherries probably popped like almost 60 years ago, but it was the delayed reaction.
Oh, it's like, oh, wow, a pucker sound your cherry has. I can't do it this morning because my lips are not woken up yet. But when they wake up, I'll do a pucker sound for you. It's not still good. Elizabeth Croydon is with us, and she's puckering up for cherry popping sounds. The cherry popping daddies. Good morning.
Good morning.
You think so? Well, just because I say good morning doesn't mean it's really a good morning. It's a bad morning.
There was a bad moon arising. Still a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, both of you are more politically astute than I am because I just watch Twitter.
Okay.
Did Congress was Congress given the opportunity to say, no, we declare war, not you, you're out of it? And they said, no, forget it. You could declare war. We don't want it.
No, there was no vote. It's totally illegal, technically.
I thought they didn't they. So I imagine this. That was
what you thought there was a vote.
Yeah, Twitter lied to me like there was a majority vote, and they declined to take back the war powers.
I did not hear anything about a vote.
Wow. Yeah, they did. They voted on the War Powers Act.
Okay, ask me about New Zealand.
What about museums? Have you seen any museums lately?
New Zealand? Or museums. I went to the U.S. Botanic Gardens yesterday. I took a walk to the U.S. Botanic Gardens. We're getting ready to ship plants into space.
Again?
Yeah, I didn't know that we did it before.
Yeah, we sent plants, insects, fungi, funguses.
We're doing it again.
Don't get me wrong. That seems cruel. Even it seems, what are they just going to die? There's no there's carbon dioxide up there.
No, there's carbon dioxide and there's oxygen. I mean, plants breathe oxygen at night when there's no sun for photosynthesis, but also
water.
They'll have that. I mean, what do you think the astronauts have? You think the astronauts don't have water and oxygen and food?
They bring it with them, but
right, they bring it with them for the plants also.
Not a lifetime supply.
We don't know how long they're expecting the plants to live, and not only that, it's only for what, a few months.
Oh, you're killing me.
Wait.
So it was beautiful, and
the plants aren't coming back, right? They're going there. I mean, they don't have a return trip. It's a
no.
one-way.
These plants allegedly are destined for Mars. So.
We got to give up on this Mars
and
stuff.
I had my coffee footprint taken And we're guessing that it takes about 25 plants a year to sustain my habit.
Wow. I wonder what mine is.
That's a 3 cup a day, that's 21 ounces a day. I picked the max.
Wow.
I bought them out after 3 cups, but I can do 3 cups a day.
Well, I'm saying, like, I think there was a time where I did 3 pots a day for most of my life. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was a big fan of the hippie speedball, weed and coffee.
Yeah, me too. Wake and bake and coffee. Oh, my God. How am I still alive? Well, actually, not how am I still alive.
My only favorite Saudi, shake, wake, and bake. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to roll now.
Look, good. I'm glad, because you came out at me like you had a dark cloud around you.
I do have a dark cloud around me. I am
gray and rainy here, and we love that in Washington.
Oh.
Well, Matt, to answer your question about the Boer powers, that Congress did punt on it. Now I know that what's his face? Your favorite giant senator from Pennsylvania. Your favorite.
I hate that. I hate
your favorite
that
penal gland challenge.
Shrek.
He's an ogre.
Senator Shrek.
He voted with the Republicans. Basically,
what a filthy, mangy.
He justified it by saying that, well, technically Trump followed the law because you have to.
It's 90 days or something.
48. Well, 40. Notify Congress within 48 hours. And then you have that is a 60-day period and a 30-day period. They're 2 separate periods. It's not like one 90-day period, but technically,
that sounds like a really ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's a 60-day, 30-day, but it's not 90 days. Yeah, come on.
Right, but the point is that Trump has been sidelining Congress, pretty much avoiding Congress for going around them for basically his whole term. So
you know what's really important? This. You see how empty that is?
Oh my God.
This.
Someone get Grandpa his meds.
Something's wrong here. You know what?
No, but I'm scared.
The good one was on the floor. And there's another good one. No, this one's empty too. All right.
Get real Letterman with the chucking of the things.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Matt, if you're going to be throwing things around, I don't know. We shouldn't be wasting it. We shouldn't be wasting it. Where is it? Oh.
Comedians who are funnier than Segura.
Yeah, if you're going to be throwing stuff, you have to play that.
Wait, I used that one already. Wait. All right. But there's one more. See, the problem was yesterday I got a little carried away. I became Santa Claus for a moment yesterday. A guy came to buy that Strat. Remember I told you about that Strat that
you gave him 2 guitars free. Right?
I did.
Oh no. Really?
Well, one was just a parts guitar. It was just in a way it's kind of growth because I'm pack ratting.
That's not growth. That's avoidance. Growth is if you deal with your fact that you don't deal with money very well. That would be growth.
That's true. But if you notice, there was an amplifier there that's no longer there.
Yeah, that's not growth. Okay, like I said, we know we know that you have a generous streak in you already. That's obvious. We learned that from your last co-host. What we don't know about you, and what we do also know about you is that you undervalue your possessions, you undervalue yourself, and you undervalue the things that you have in your life that are material objects. And so you don't want to haggle.
Real therapeutic, real fast.
Instead of doing the sensible thing to make the money that to give yourself the money that you're entitled to, you just say, fuck it, I don't want to haggle, I just want to get rid of it so I don't have to look at you in the eye and take your money.
It was that. a lot of that. You're right on about that. Thank you for beating me down on that. But
I wasn't trying to beat you down. I was trying to lift you up in a negative way.
All right, that's fine.
Jesus, who are you, Marco Rubio? Is this proactive defense?
So yeah, he ended up leaving with 2 guitars, 2 amplifiers.
Look, I'm coming over
3
to your
different
house,
pedals.
Matt. What are you gonna give me?
And a cat. Take a chicken
You
and a
gave
cat
him
also.
some pussy?
Did he get a cat? But one I would, if the cat would balance things out. Oh, good, got rid of one of the fucking cats. He left with a carload full of shit, but and I didn't end up with all that much money for it. And he lowballed me on a couple of things, but
well, at least he touched your balls while he was
guy?
there.
Is he coming on
the
show?
truth is,
it's more than you pay me.
Well, the truth is, as I said to him, I'm never gonna play in a band again. I'm done. I'm not gonna play electric again. The acoustic stuff is all good, and I have all that stuff. I'm not gonna use any of this stuff. I have 1 amplifier left, which I'm not gonna get rid of. That will be the one I'll play on my deathbed. I'll play through it. But I'm not. So take it all. Get out. Go. I was doing the Tracy Ullman. Go on, go home. Get out of here. I was wearing my bathrobe and so. But he got a lot of stuff for. I mean, it was fucking Christmas for him, and so he probably. Nice. But I think at this point he's like laughing at me. He got home and he went, he even got free batteries.
For me to get some money, come up there, buy a guitar, walk away, buy a guitar for $200, walk away with about $4,000 worth of stuff, and sell it here for $3,000.
I'm betting, I should go and see if he put any of this shit on fucking.
You need to see if he's feeding the cat.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Oh, by the way, my cat is on Facebook Marketplace this morning. And I'm going to buy him back because I'm that stupid.
Yeah, that's the other thing you'll do is you'll see that guitar. Oh, that's a nice Strat. I wonder if I can give him $1,000 for it.
And the weird part about it, I mean, not to beat myself up anymore, but there were guys ready to come here and pay me more for the Strat the day before. And I told them they weren't first come, first serve. I got to honor the first guy. I said I cut him $50 off the price. And it was already discounted. Well, I'm an idiot, but the stuff is gone. And I feel like I'm making room here.
No, you may be making room, but you're not making progress.
Oh my gosh!
But
what am I gonna do? I got nobody to leave it to when I die. It's like
no. I'm gonna look. I understand that logic. I'm not talking about logic now. I'm talking about growth. I'm talking about you not dealing with the essential thing that we know that you and I both have. You and I both undervalue our gifts, and we don't take the money that we think that we're deserving of. We both do that. And if you don't want yourself, I have no chance
beyond this thing.
No.
Because my weed jars, I didn't even know all my weed was all over the fucking county now. But I had this brand new amplifier. The one Are
you giving away weed too?
No.
Your
I will
address.
fucking kill to save my weed. I will fight.
I will drive to Long Island for weed.
Well, go to Jackie's house. Come on by. Yeah, let's go to Jackie's house. You and I will just take pounds. Last time I went to Jackie's house, he said, "You go up in the attic, get yourself a bag of weed." And there was a guy up there who was getting weed. A guy up there who was getting weed for the vets because they donated to the vets or whatever.
Oh, and that's great.
He filled me up. You know, a shopping bag, the brown bags you go when you get to the supermarket, they charge you a nickel for it now, or whatever.
Heck
he gave me one of those.
Now it's a nickel bag
full of weed. He gave me one of those full of weed.
So you had a nickel bag with 4 pounds of weed.
I'm coming to Long Island. That settles it. Jackie's
I don't know
house,
what the weight was.
Parkway. Yeah. I want your guest from yesterday to run for office. He was great. What panache.
Yeah, I don't think he smokes weed. I just don't get I don't get a weed smoking vibe from him at all. I think he probably frown on me for being the weed head that I am.
The weed head?
Yeah, I'm Beavis to his butthead, or I'm butthead to his Beavis or something. Get off my Beavis. But anyway, so I had one of the amps.
Get off my Beavis.
One of the amps is buried under the second desk. It was there for like 3. I never used it. It was brand new when I bought it off a guy on Craigslist. I just bought it as a backup amp. He said he never used it. He was 69 years old. He was selling me his amp, and he gave me this story that was really touching. He said, "I always wanted to play in a band. I never did," but he was rich, and he's like, I made a lot of money in the stock market and stuff, but I always wanted to play in a band, and I regret my life choices because I would give up all this wealth just to be a dirtbag hippie playing in a rock band.
He says that because he had all the wealth.
Exactly.
Yeah. People like Bill Gates would be like, I would give up all this money to just have the simple life that I had before I had all this money. Like,
right, but he was blowing smoke up my ass, telling me how
that runs around in bare feet.
He was telling me how I'm living the dream. I'm his idol. He wishes he would have had my life. And I'm like, I'd gladly trade places with you, dude. Like, you give me the money, I'll give you my wife, my house, my life, and you just give me all your money. And
wow, just like that. Take my wife, please.
Yeah. Instead, I bought his amp. I think
he's actually saying swap. I think he's like wife swapping in that regard. He's like, or life swapping.
All right. Yeah, wife swapping. So I got the amp, but I never used it, and it was buried underneath this table here. So yesterday I had to move all the furniture out to get this to show the guy, and then in the meantime, I guess I knocked weed bottles all over the fucking county here.
Now, I have a question for you, Matt, about the amplifiers, because my amplifiers, the backs are hollow, and so when I use them, I put things inside the amps to make it so I have less things to carry. Like cords, guitar picks, tuners, capos.
Fuck!
Did you check the inside of your amplifier?
I just thank you for reminding me. My mother's ashes were in the back of the crate 32 Palomino that he took.
Now,
I wonder. No, there was definitely there was stuff in the back. Yes,
no, I'm thinking about putting trying an internet game. You've seen the remember there was a game called Fuck, Marry, Kill, and you give somebody a bunch of choices and they decide who they want to fuck, who they want to marry, who they want to kill.
I'm not familiar with these hippie new games that you play.
New game, okay. Well, the game I'm doing is called Epstein's Island, Fantasy Island, Rikers Island, and you get to pick 3, celebrities, I guess, and you decide if you want to put them Epstein's Island, Fantasy Island, or Rikers Island. And I want to do that on TikTok. You think that'll?
I kind of like it, but I think can we swap one of them out for Gilligan's? Because I don't know.
Yeah, Gilligan's.
We can. As a matter of fact, because we can swap out Fantasy for Gilligan's, but
Fantasy. I didn't like that little fucking.
But I was trying to find something comparable. to Fuck, Marry.
Little people.
I was trying to find something comparable to Fuck, Marry, and Kill, and Fantasy Island is closable to, more comparable to America's,
a fur blow-up doll.
I have to be perfectly honest.
Can you be perfectly honest, or is this just going to be like just about honest?
I have to be perfectly honest about. I have never watched. Or I know the Hervey guy. I think they did commercials or something. Why I know him saying the boss, the plane, the bane, but right. I never watched an episode of that. Carlos Montalban. I remembered him from The Flying Nun, and I didn't like him then. He was.
Did you like his commercials with the Corinthian leather?
No, I don't like. Why do you want a car that has fancy fucking leather in it? You're just gonna fuck on it anyway and get cum stains all over it.
This is very expensive dead cow.
Oh yeah, well that's Corinthian leather, and they shoot your wad all over it. How about that? See, I should have done that would have been a better commercial.
You drove your car a lot differently than I drove my car.
Oh,
nothing. I mean, I never could afford Corinthian leather in any of my cars.
I only know about Corinthian columns.
I just did a really stupid thing, and this is not the first time. I'm sure you're aware that this is not the first time. These bottles that I just threw all over the room that I don't even know where they went, you get $5 for every one you bring back, and obviously I've been slacking on that. You get a $5 discount.
They give you $5 to bring that back?
Not $5 cash, $5 or
what's the
discount
merchandise
on your next purchase. Yeah.
But
yeah,
still.
so I know I'm an idiot. I gotta. I got to bring all of
So
them
we're
back.
going
and
back to the fact that, again, you have stuff of value that you devalue by not valuing it.
This is the whole. You're absolutely right. This is my biggest problem in life. Is I just I'm
Well, it's not
careless
your
with.
biggest problem in life. That's your biggest financial problem. But your biggest problem in life is that you're you. But that's other than that. No.
I just want you to know I'm not
think
signing up to be analyzed
You
today.
might be right. I said I signed up to be analyzed years and years ago in public. My mother wanted to name me Public Flogging, but it was boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, you're right. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't really want to know what my biggest problem is. My biggest problem is that I'm still alive. That's my biggest problem. Well, it is a problem. Well, I keep thinking that I should be dead, but somehow I'm not dead. No suicidal ideation here. That's not what it is. Where's my banner?
We don't have to use the banner, or do it?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'm using the banner anyway, but it's not suicide. I'm just feeling like I've led such an unhealthy life, and this week is a reminder because I had a lot of friends who had birthdays this week, and they're all dead. All my closest friends, it was a kind of a thing where, oh, it's Leo's birthday, it's Gino's birthday, it's Larry's birthday. They're all dead, and they led healthier lives than I did. They much better. They're all gone.
Yeah,
So
but it
why
doesn't
am
matter
I
how
here?
healthy you are. I know
friend John Pilka died. He
Yeah.
was one of the last Youth International yippies. He was a yippie.
Yeah.
And he ran the 4th of July smoke-in for I think 40 years. He took it over from Russell Brain. But long may he rest in power, or pot.
Yeah, a yippie. The only time I ever got smacked really hard in the face by my father was when I said, "I'm not a hippie, I'm a yippie."
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't even know what a yippie was. I was like 8 years old.
Youth International Party. Get out of my house.
Yeah, exactly.
You socialist.
Yeah, that's what. Well,
go drop some dollars from the.
We're talking 1967. It wasn't all that. It wasn't all that acceptable to have a 8-year-old socialist in your house. But I didn't know. I actually had no. I just thought it was. I heard the term yippie, and I thought, well, yippee. I was 8. Yippee! I'm a yippee! Yippee!
Speaking of yippies,
exactly
hello, Ann in California.
What?
Oh.
Good morning, Ann in California.
Larry, does that sound like Larry King to you, Elizabeth?
No, I don't know what Larry King. I don't know what Larry King sounds like. I haven't listened to him for a while.
Who? Wait, what? Who? What? When? Where? And why? Larry King.
Good morning, Ann in California. Good morning, Ann in California. You're on the line with CNN. Yeah. Oh, by the way, yesterday we were talking about Mitch McConnell, and I asked if he was still alive, did he resign? Did he get reelected? He was on
his term ends. His term ends January 3rd, 2027.
He was looking almost lifelike yesterday. He was on the floor, but he was still sticking his tongue way up Trump's ass, like Trump is.
Yeah.
He did it. Oh my God! But how is he even still there? I mean, he got all sorts of health problems, right?
They wheel him in and they wheel him out, and they hit him on the side of the head when he freezes.
There has to be some kind of law against. I mean, not that there is, but we need to implement a. First of all, you should have to pass a cognitive.
They don't even have to be tested for drugs. All of them on Capitol Hill could be on narcotics. I got tested for drugs when I interrupted Jefferson Beauregard Sessions' confirmation hearing at the DOJ. And I found out that none of them get tested for narcotics.
There should
And
be
they,
an
they could
age
be on
limit
all
and
kinds of prescription drugs.
definitely like a medically quality. You can't just be shot and being a senator or a congressman, but
That's
you
probably
can.
what they're doing, Mitch, shooting them full of Oxycontin.
I took a survey on YouGov, and it said, "Do you think there should be an age limit?" And yeah, at 65, it should be a good. And I know, people, oh, it's ageism, whatever. There are some people
It's
who
the
are definitely
retirement
competent
age.
after 65, but I don't think. I think we should keep. You're making decisions for old people at that point anyway. You don't fucking care, but you're not connected to 22-year-olds, 25-year-olds at that point. You're just trying to care about yourself, you old fuck. I'm talking to me. So no, let's get rid of all these old people. If we got rid of all the old people, that'd be like half the Senate, right?
I don't know. I know Danes is not running it again,
Am I
and
on
he
the
said,
game show Soylent Green? What's going on today?
Yeah.
I know that Danes in not Minnesota, was it Minnesota? He's not running again for Senate. He's I don't know can't remember what state he's from. Montana. He's from Montana, and he said something about it's time for like the younger people to take over.
I like that. He's
But
absolutely right.
that's what he's saying. Well, we know this now. He's a Trump ally, and he doesn't look that old. I mean, he looks like he's in his 50s.
So he's a Trump ally. I don't like him then.
I think he's
that quick.
I think he's leaving because he's again, he knows he can't win re-election because he's probably knee deep in all the other. He's been defending a pedophile. So
Did you notice how quiet it got? She wasn't even talking, but when she left, it got quiet.
It was the crackle, pop, pop.
Is she a Rice Krispie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she's popping in now. You hear that? Pop! That pop was louder than the first pop. It's what are you? Are you what were they? Crack, snapple, and pop? What were they? The Rice Krispies?
Snap, crackle, and pop.
Snap, crackle, and pop.
Weren't you listening to the Reverend?
What the Reverend did something about snap, crackle, and pop? What are you doing? Are you pouring milk on Rice Krispies? Is that what you're doing? Let me fix that. I can fix that from here.
I don't know if you can fix it.
I think I can. Oh no, I muted it. Unmute yourself. I pushed the wrong button. Edit mic settings. And I can go reduce noise. Back. There you go. That worked. No, it didn't work. That's so weird. It's like I don't want. What is that? Is that a battery operated mic? Oh, that's the other thing. This guy with the pedals. I put all new batteries in these fucking pedals before the guy. He got my batteries too. I wanted to call him up. Hey, can I have my batteries back?
Now you can stop. See, now you're not being generous. Now it's just a cry for help. It was. See how generous I am now. It's like it's a cry for help.
Oh, it was never about how generous I. It was always a cry for help. But the batteries get me because I'm sure he got home.
They're expensive, and batteries are expensive.
Yeah. And then I had to throw the bad batteries out, and that's when I realized, fuck, he got me for batteries too. Anyway, so I hope he enjoys the guitar. Anyway,
and you wonder why you keep getting emails from people who keep trying to scam you.
Right. And one more thing that caused me hell with this guy yesterday. He asked if he could use the restroom,
bathroom.
So the bathroom, but we call it the ladies' room here. And he left the toilet seat up, and I didn't know. And then my wife
got you in trouble.
My wife came home and she said, "You left the toilet seat up." And I said, "No, I didn't." And then she was like, "That's like." I don't know what it is with these women in toilet seats. Like, is it that hard to put?
If you've ever sat on one or sat and fell into one, you'll know it's
But if I can put it down, why can't she put it down? That's right. It's not gross for me to put the seat down, but it's gross for her to have to put the seat down. I mean,
the thing is, now most guys don't wipe the edge of the bowl when they urinate and it splashes on it. So why should they have to do that? Why should they have to wipe that up? So people should be responsible.
Are you like you're not just a snowplow union head? You are now the union head for women against toilet seats.
No, I don't know of any woman that's against toilet seats. And I'm just
Senator
saying, I'm just
Sheehy
trying
broke a
to,
Marine's hand yesterday.
What happened?
which is
the
exactly,
Marine guy.
which ties in exactly about pulling and
Wait, we
peeing on
have
toilet
to
seats.
finish up. We have to finish up on the beating I took over the toilet seat yesterday because it
Oh,
was bad enough when she said you left the toilet seat up, and I was like, I did, and because I know better because I get a beating if I do that, so I don't do it. And then it occurred to me, oh no, I didn't. That was a guy who was here. She's like, a guy? Oh no, it wasn't just me. It was some stranger that I let use our bathroom and let him put the toilet seat up and didn't go to check it. Now the beating gets worse. So that's why I was late getting up today because I was beaten unconscious last evening over the toilet seat drama.
Look, I put the seat down for totally different. Well, I was raised by a woman, a single mom, who insisted that the toilet seats be put down after use, wiped and closed, wiped and sealed when we were done, plain and simple. But as I got older and I got my own place and I could leave the seat up whenever I wanted to because it was just me, I was brushing my teeth. I was set my toothbrush, it fell off the shelf, hit the sink, bounced, and fell into the toilet. And I thought to myself, if my toilet seat was down, that wouldn't have happened. And so from that moment on, even though I lived by myself, I kept my toilet seat down. And guess what? Many things have fallen on top of my toilet seat that would have fallen in, like my phone. Had the seat bent up, it would have fallen in. But my phone instead landed on the top of the toilet instead. And so it's practical. It's just fucking practical to just put the seat down when I'm done, plain and simple.
This message has been brought to you by the National Council for Toilet Seat Awareness. Ian, I like Ian's. I think I'm going to put a thing on Facebook. Everybody come over and piss on my toilet seat today, and then see how. Then I will get beaten to death, won't I? Anyway, yeah. So I guess I should. What should I have done? Said when the guy said, "Can I use your bathroom?" Say no. No, you're just here to buy shit, man. I go, oh, yeah, kid, you're just here to fucking rob me blind. Isn't that enough? Go piss out in the yard. That's what I should have told him, right?
Well, or just say, look, when you're done, please wipe the seat and put the toilet seat down because if not, I'm coming back to get my stuff back because my wife is going to just get all in my shit and it'll be worth it for me to come back and get all that shit back. Don't treat me like this. Don't get me in trouble. I'm doing you a solid here. Pee outside.
All right. You made your point. Again, once again, it's all my fault.
Well, I didn't say it was all your fault. I'm just saying it was like.
Well, it is. I should have told him to put the.
Probably only 100% your fault. I would not say it was all your fault. 100% at the most.
Right. I saw toilet seats work. I mean, so up and down. They should have because we do have a little. You can push a button and it should just go down, right? So you don't have to touch the seat; it just goes up and down.
They have buttons that do that. They have toilet seats that rise and fall, and lift and close and flush and stuff. But guess what? I don't know of any toilet that wipes itself off if somebody sprinkles on it. I don't know of any toilet that does that.
That's fair. Are you a bidet guy? Bidet
I've never tried one. I've never tried one. I'm afraid I'll fall in love with it and I may never leave the bathroom.
Right. I think there was a story about Lenny. Lenny, you remember Luca Brasi from the God? Luca Brasi from the Godfather, the guy Lenny Montana. Ralph says he was in a hotel room with him and he never had seen a bidet before. He goes, "Look at this! They have a water fountain in the toilet." And he was drinking out of it. Drinking from the bidet, I don't know if it's true. I mean, Ralphie lied a lot, so. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't like a bidet. I just you get a squirt. Is it heated water? Because this
No, it's because you split the water right off the toilet tap, so it's just cold.
Oh yeah, who wants cold water shot up your ass? That's
Apparently a lot of people.
I guess you do. You like cold water shot up your ass? Cold?
I guess it. No, I don't know. I'm not an expert at it. I've never experienced it. The closest I ever came
I
to
don't
it
know
was
if there's such a thing as an expert.
I was at a nude beach, and we all had super soakers, and we were having a fight with the super soakers, and I bent over to pick up, and that's the closest I've ever had come to having a bidet. So, but I bought 4 super soakers after that.
That could shoot all the way up to your throat, like and wow, super soakers with
on a nude beach, yeah.
Thrust, yeah. We have lots of nude beaches here. I didn't bring up that with the Long Island guy yesterday about because we were talking about Robert Moses, and Robert Moses Field 5 is the gay beach. It's mostly gay. But it's just nudist as all fuck. But lots of blowjobs going on the beach. It's kind of weird to watch. But I still.
So you watch?
Yes, I still. No, I was going to say I still charge a decent amount of money for it. It's harder to sell tickets than it used to be.
Just for the record, we didn't always use super soakers. We used to use paintballs, but they were painful, so we downgraded to the super soakers.
Right. Well,
I should say we evolved to super soakers.
Super soakers were a thing when you were very young, right?
No, we had powerful water. Well, they weren't called super soakers. We had water guns that were pretty big, but it wasn't a super soaker. It was like you had like a water balloon that you put on the top of the gun, and eventually they evolved to where you got to have like the plastic and self-containing things, and yeah.
What is the Edward Norton movie that about Robert Moses that I was trying to remember? Motherless Brooklyn. This guy, I can't believe you don't know. Robert Moses was a weird. He had power over the New York State governor, the New York City mayor, all of Long Island, and nobody knows how he acquired. And like,
so he was like what, the Huey Long of New York,
something like that. Yeah. And Arthur was saying about the racism. The racism is kind of well known because he was like, he's responsible for like black people being up in Harlem and Bedford-Stuy. Like he kind of dictated that. Like, okay, put the black people up here or down here, but and don't sell to them in white neighborhoods and all this stuff. He was big on that. But how he got power over so many people in New York, nobody seems to know that. And Arthur seemed to kind of like suggest that he wasn't accused of it. He had to be blackmailing people, right? How else would you get all that kind of influence without? I don't know, like without getting elected or anything, just to have influence over the governor, the mayor, all these different town or county executives and all that stuff. He ran New York without ever getting elected. No, it was kind of the power behind the curtain. That stuff. 1950s New York. Lionel, a private detective with Tourette syndrome, sets out to uncover the mystery behind the mentor and only friend Frank's murder. Scouring jazz clubs and slums of Brooklyn, he soon uncovers a web of secrets. How's that about Robert Moses? See, now we got to watch the movie, don't we?
Got to buy the book. Got to buy the book.
So here's the people who were in the movie: Edward Norton, Alec Baldwin, Bruce Willis, Bobby Cannavale. Oh, Bobby Cannavale is cool. Terry Jones, Dallas Roberts, and John Pius. I don't know any of these other people, but I've seen Bruce Willis, and it's not that old. So I wonder, wow, that could be Bruce Willis's last movie. Now we have to watch it. Don't we have to watch it? Because it's Bruce Willis's last movie, or will be. He's still alive, right, Bruce?
I don't know.
Anybody out there?
I saw that when we're at trivia night, there's like televisions on around, but there's no sound, so it's just the images. And I saw an image of Barry Manilow in the hospital. So I didn't know if he's like.
I think he was. Yeah, I think he just didn't he recently pass. Maybe I'm wrong. Manilow. I thought.
And this is Barry Manilow, not his brother Terry Manilow or Jerry Manilow.
He's not dead. He's not dead yet. 82 years old. So he had cancer surgery recently. That's what you saw.
Okay.
The reporter.
And Lou Holtz died.
Lou Holtz. He was like a wrestler.
The coach from I think Notre Dame.
Oh
maybe?
yeah, Notre Dame. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think I was a fan. Was I not a fan? Remind me. Do I not like him? I don't like him, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I thought you did because you and Willie were like such huge Notre Dame fans. Was it Willie or was it Steven? I think it was Willie.
I wonder if Willie saw the clip about me saying, "Yeah, maybe he was right." I don't know. He wasn't right about this manifesting stuff. I was just but I have had a dark cloud this whole winter chasing me around. But I don't think my mindset is what created the dark cloud. It's just you could have bad luck, right? You got an unlucky streak.
Yeah. And again, it all depends on how you keep score. Because you think about it, most of our life is uneventful. Most of it is just uneventful. You wake up, you walk around, you do this, you do that, and then a moment happens, and then you
walk
decide,
around nappy.
You walk around nappy, and then you decide, then a moment, then an event occurs. So how are you going to interpret that event? You could say, "Damn it, I tweaked my leg. Something bad always happens to me," or "Damn it, I tweaked my leg. I guess I won't be mowing the grass today. I'll just sit down and watch television. Lucky me." See, it all depends, and at that point, it's how you interpret the events, whether or not there's a cloud or not. Then some things could happen, and you just look and go like, shit happens, and then keep on strolling along. Like it's not good, it's not bad, it just happened. I'll deal with it,
Yeah. Yeah, it's all manifesting stuff. I mean, if it were possible, then everybody would be.
I told you about the venue that paid me in the check bounce. They paid me in cash this time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you're square with the.
Oh yeah, I'm square. They want me back. They want me back at this in the summer, June or July.
It's that because comedy clubs here, and I think. Last time speaking of Sam Talent, I think the last time he was at Governor's was like a summer thing, and it was kind of full. But I was like, comedy clubs in summer here on Long Island.
Well, they have two stages. They have an indoor stage and an outdoor stage, and he wanted to know if I wanted to do the outdoor stage.
Oh yeah. Did you say fuck yeah? Fuck yeah, I do. Fuck yeah.
I said yeah. So we said, we'll get together and look at our calendars.
Yeah, I want to do the outdoor stage. Let me do I want to do outdoor. I'm not going to do any more stages, unfortunately.
So I'm going to reach out to the other members of the Funny Old Farts and see if they want to do it. If they don't, then I'll, put together something else.
So let's go back to politics while we still can.
Okay.
Texas. James Tallarico won a primary, right? So
by about 7 points. Yeah,
big, right?
Yeah,
but does that because that was just the Democratic primary? That doesn't mean he's not going to win. Is he going to win? You think he's going to flip?
I don't know.
He's not going for Ted Cruz's seat, right? No.
No, he's going for Cornine's seat, John Cornyn, and he's in a runoff with Paxton right now.
Right. Oh, runoff? I thought he won. I thought
Cornyn
won.
Well, he won, but he didn't win he didn't get 50%. You have to in Texas, primaries you have to get 50+%. Well, not just the primary, I think probably election as well, but yes, 50+%. And he was like, they were both at 49%, 49 something, or 49 something and 48 something. So they're going to have a runoff. And there was some black guy, I don't know his name. I actually never gave a shit about his name. It's not because he's black, it's because he wasn't going to win the primary anyway. So
I think in the runoff, I would put the money on the black guy.
Yeah, but
especially if it's against Jim
but
Abbott.
he's not in the runoff. So
Oh,
he's not in the runoff. So I'm saying, so the regular primary, I didn't take the time to learn his name because he wasn't going to advance. I was only going to pay attention to the people that I thought could advance.
So the bottom line, are you optimistic for Texas? Is it gonna come out of the dark ages? Is it gonna?
I'm not optimistic. I'm hopeful.
See, this was I like Jasmine.
Yeah, I'd liked her. She was a fighter.
But I think in this, if I had a chance to say this, she'd probably be angry at me. But I'm glad that she's not going to be running for Senate, because I think we need both their voices. We need Tallarico and her, and she's already got the seat. And so I'd rather keep her, because we need both of them. So I'd rather keep her in Congress and have Tallarico.
But if Texas
have her as a
redistricts, Texas could redistrict and just wipe out her district.
Oh,
and she may not have a seat there. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible that you could lose her voice. But on the other hand, and this is what the Republicans aren't looking, or they may not be looking at very well. When they redistricted, they picked up a lot of Latino votes at the last election because of the way Trump was talking about immigration. Now they've seen what he's done with the immigration, and a lot of the Latino Republicans have switched, are like, wait a minute, we don't want this. This is not what we asked for. And so there's like probably a 17-point swing back away from Trump as far as Latino votes go. So with the Latino votes, if they go Democrat, then those 5 districts that they just rigged could very well be rigged, and 2 or 3 of them could be rigged in favor of the Democrats.
Yeah. With that whole thing, if there was some way where she could say, if I win for Senate, you could have my congressional seat, that would, but without so the point I think and clumsily trying to make here is that being already an established congresswoman hurt her chance for being a senator, right?
I don't think it hurt her chances to be a senator. I think what hurt her chances was there was a little bit of infighting, I think. And Tallarico went places that she did not go, or at least didn't, like, I don't know that she went on Colbert, but Tallarico went on Colbert.
Right.
And Tallarico went to Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan blew so much.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Joe Rogan blew so much smoke up his ass. I mean, it was like, you're such a nice guy. You should run for president. You had, and not that Joe Rogan's opinion matters to me, but there's like 7 or 8 white guys out there that really,
I've only seen Rogan be confrontational with 2 or 3 people ever, and I don't follow. I mean, before the era of Trumpism, I used to follow him quite a bit, and he was just never confrontational. He kissed everybody's ass except for 2 people. One guy who was critical of him in a magazine article that he went after really big, and another guy was a guy who had a show on like Lifetime Network, not Lifetime, one of those sci-fi networks or something. A guy who questioned everything, and Rogan used to have a show. Joe Rogan questions everything, but he was just confrontational with that guy. But other than those 2 guys, he never pushes back on anybody who's sitting across from him. He's very, oh, you're right, I agree with you 100% on everything, or wow, that's so interesting, man. Oh wow, I wasn't aware of that. Oh wow.
As long as you brought this up, I have a bone to pick with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Okay,
he's not. He's go ahead.
Well, he did a video short that says, he says, let me put this to rest. If you're filling a glass and it reaches the halfway point, the glass is half full. If you're emptying the glass, once it reaches the halfway point, it's half empty. There, case closed. But no, we're talking, if the glass is stagnant and the water is there, we don't know if it's being filled, and it's not being filled or empty. The water is there. At that point, do you say it's half empty or half full? See, he's changing the argument, and he's changing the parameters of the argument. He's doing a Captain Kirk. He's changing the rules of the test so that he can win.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's half smart.
Well, actually, I like him. I appreciate his intelligence and his academia, whatever kind of nut he is. Is it academia?
But he turned us down. He turned us down in favor of doing the thing with that dude.
I didn't say he had good taste, but he is smart.
What was that guy?
The alien, that alien. First of all, unless you're watching Buckaroo Banzai, there aren't any black aliens. No, I'm just teasing.
That's I don't know. They're green, gray. They're gray, not black. They're green or gray, right? They only come in two flavors.
Buckaroo Banzai. They look Jamaican.
I bet you our guest will know more about aliens than we do because he's
I think he's ready. Are we ready to bring Richard in? Because I can't wait to talk to him because I have so many questions to not ask him.
Let's bring him in. I have to read because reading is my reading is Richard.
I'm laughing because of this. This is, if you're a Buckaroo Banzai fan, at the very end of the Buckaroo Banzai movie, they basically plugged a second movie at the end of it, and it's been like 50 years or something. The second Buckaroo Banzai movie has not come out, and I don't know.
I'm not familiar with it. I mean, I know I know Buckaroo Banzai from hearing the phrase. I knew there was a movie out there, but I don't think I've ever seen any like a trailer of it or any of it.
It is such a campy movie. I love it. And the thing is, it goes by so fast. I swear it feels like a half an hour.
I want to take this banner out and put in Richard's banner for the book here before we bring him in. There you go. That's it for the Amazon, where we can new rock, new rules. Richard Sparks, the English-born TV comedy writer, lyricist, librettist. That's a new word. I mean, how many times a day do you say librettist?
4, but usually now author. I say it 4 times a day, but every time I say it, people walk up to me and go, "Gesundheit."
He's out with his third installment of his thrilling new rock series, New Rock, New Rules. Latest book blends high adventure and low comedy, palace intrigue, and jaw-dropping duels, as inspired by Richard's lifelong love of gaming, a passion he's explored for more deeply later in life, joining a growing wave of older online gamers. Not me. I'm an old doofus. Good morning, Richard. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I don't know anything about gaming. You've been a gamer your whole life, or you just got into gaming?
Well, I love games. I loved sports when I was a kid at school, and you learn, you have sports periods and games periods as well as academic periods. And then I got into gaming actually through my friend Douglas Adams, who wrote Hitchhiker, who's a contemporary of my Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh,
he was totally
into the fish.
Yeah, Douglas was great. Gone far too young, but he was always saying, "Oh, you got to try this, you got to try that." And I was saying, "You should be writing, shouldn't you?" Well, yes, but I'll do that later. And later in life, and then I also a keen poker player. So one thing merged into another.
Yeah, that kind of game I love.
Yeah.
Right. I got myself in trouble about 20 years ago now. Time flies. I was managing a team, and one of the young ladies on the team said, "Are you a gamer?" And I would say yes. If a girl asked me anything, the answer is yes. But she did not mean. I was thinking she meant video games. No,
well,
she was
that's
like,
what they are. Video games online, and the thing is, you're the hero of your own story. You create your own avatar. You go where you want. You do what you want. They're called sandbox games, big games with wide open worlds where you can wander around and have fun. So it's not like watching a movie where you're watching Peter Weller, for example, Buckaroo Banzai, being the hero of the movie. Someone else
in it. Thank you.
It's yourself. It's yourself. And by the way, what about a Brother from Another Planet?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Brother from Another Planet.
Excellent film.
Yeah. Weren't there black guys on Star Trek or who were from like other planets too? I think there were. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
New,
tried everything.
New Rock.
But I
Tell
think
me
they
about
did do
New.
blackface on there though. Was it blackface? I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
I
there's
think
Lamar Burton's character, wasn't that Star Trek?
I think Frank Gershon was like half white on one side and half black on the other. And then this other guy was like, no, I'm just saying, but there's the planet where the good guys, like the left side is black and the right side is white, but the bad guys, the black side is left and the right side is white. And that's why at least that's how they perceived each other. And everybody else is going like, "Wait, aren't you guys the same?" It's like, no, and because
he's a lefty,
side,
I'm a righty.
Yeah,
probably. Well, Lamar Burton was in that series, wasn't he?
Well, he was in the Next Generation?
Yeah.
I'm talking. I was referring to classic.
Oh, classic Star Trek.
Yeah, classic Star Trek, where they recycled the special effects from other shows like Outer Limits and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Those were the days. I actually was lucky enough to have dinner with Bill Shatner 18 months ago, I think, just before the Palisades fire. He's a friend of a lawyer. He's a lawyer friend of mine, knows him and the good mates, and so I got to hang with him at a little dinner at our friend's house. That was nice. He's sharp as a tack. He is. Yeah. 94.
And now look how low you fall. You're spending your mornings with us.
How the mighty are fallen. That's the nice thing about being a writer. You're not an anybody. Even if you write the script and you go on the set, without your work, there wouldn't be anyone there. But they don't need you. You're just you did your job. Now sit in the background or go away. And so you don't become an important person. But we do know everything, writers. We know who the a-holes are in the business. You don't want to work with her. My God, she's got this terrible sister who turns up. She's always on the set, interfering.
Now, I'll just out of curiosity, since you're like, if you write a piece and you're on a set, would it not be more practical for you to be the continuity script continuity person as well? Because
no, God no, that's a skill. That's a real skill.
Oh,
it's like being an editor.
Well, actually, it is, yeah.
It's a specialized job. The thing is, once your job's done, they don't need you. And I learned this the hard way with a series that I was very disappointed with. It actually kind of broke my heart, but I created it. I put it all together. I wrote all the scripts. And unfortunately, the director went off and did something else. Or unfortunately, from my point of view, the show wasn't a success. But I thought it really could have been. And someone else later did a similar idea, which was huge. And I just didn't go to the set after a bit because the guy he wasn't paying attention. He wasn't, and that's what happens. You can't go to the set and start arguing with the director. That would not be any good for anyone. Your job is done by the time the prep starts, and you may be involved in casting, of course, but after that, they don't need you. You should. I have a friend who's a producer. She's done like 60 or 70 pictures, and she never goes to the set. And she's very hands-on in the lead up, but she says, if I go, people just make busy work and charge around looking busy to impress the producer. So she stays out of the way, except right towards the end, she'll pop in and say hello to everyone on a day when everyone's calm and that things nearly finished. And if there's chaos and problems, she stays away then. If it's one of those race against time jobs. But if everything's cool, she just goes and says hello.
But isn't she missing a lot of really great opportunities to have smoke blown up her butt?
Yeah, that's what she doesn't need, and they don't need They don't waste their time, energy. Concentrating on the producer. They just need to be left alone to get on to work. It's like if you give someone a script, which however, whether it's a 5-minute sketch or something, you don't tell them how to do it. You just give them the script, and if they come back to you as the writer and say, "What the hell's going on here?" You talk.
It kind of reminds me of what I was thinking about last night about being a comedy writer versus a comedy performer, because people people get into comedy because they like that feedback and whatever they get out of that, hearing a room full of laughter or whatever. But it's kind of different when somebody else is performing it and they're getting the laughs. And I think the audience always assumes they're saying their word. They don't necessarily connect to the writer. So it's like you're getting a second person feedback or a third person feedback.
It entirely depends who you are. I mean, I'd rather have an expert do my material. You know, I'd have a professional plumber rather than try and fix the faucet myself.
I understand.
But there's a difference, you know, there's a difference between being a funny person and being a funny writer. I am, as you can tell, brilliantly funny all the time. But no, if I put it on paper, I can give it to an actor. I remember the first time I met John Cleese back in, the 70s. And the line he said to me when he said, what did he say? Your face looks rather familiar. He's about 9 foot tall and I'm 5'9", and sort of looking down at me with that one, the sort of pompous 1950s old face. And your face looks rather familiar. And off the top of my head, I came up with a good line. I said, well, I can usually pick it out 9 times out of 10 in a not too crowded mirror. And he looked at me and went, and he went, and his laugh made me laugh more than my line made him laugh, because he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
He's a funny man. And the Robin Williamses and Steve Martins. Well, Steve Martin less so off stage, but on stage he's ingenious. Some people, Robin Williams, who just turn it on instantly, and some people have got the ability to be writers and performers. I don't want to be a performer.
Well, as long as we're name dropping, I was friends with this guy named Brian Cornell. Y'all know Brian Cornell, right? Of course not.
I loved his university. He had a great university.
Yeah, so we were in a meeting at work, and he used to say the funniest things in my ear, work-related stuff during the meeting, and I would just say them out loud, and everybody would laugh, and he'd look at me, and then he'd say something else in my ear. Hilarious, and I just repeat it, just like he said. I repeat it aloud, and I get the laugh. And by the third time, he looks at me, goes like, "Yeah." By the third time, he's getting pissed off because like, "Those are my words." I said, "Yes, they're really good. You should say them out loud. Say them." He goes like, "I couldn't possibly say them out loud."
Well, you've got to get over that hump, haven't you?
Right.
There's an actor I work with, Gavin Richards. It doesn't mean much in America, but he was in a show called the Ken Campbell's Road Show, which was the same time as Monty Python. This was a live stage show run by this lunatic genius, Ken Campbell. And Gavin was the barker. He was like 5'6" with a big moustache and very handsome in a sort of slightly buccaneering sort of way. Looked like a tiny little angry Spanish nobleman. He would be at the front telling ladies and gentlemen, we are now about to, as people on stage are getting into a hot tub or doing some stupid sketch, and Ken would stand backstage, and Ken had this wonderful sort of face. He'd say, "Here, Gav, come here." So Gavin would go to the front of the stage and listen, and Ken said to him one day, "Go to the front of the stage and say, I have been a woman since 1985. Gavin, all right, I suppose, if I must. So he goes to the front. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very important announcement to make. I have been a woman since 1985. House collapse of the house. He goes back and Ken's in the side. Told you it would work, didn't I? I knew it would work. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I think Neil Simon and Mel Brooks had that kind of relationship as writers for the Sid Caesar show of shows. Neil Simon was very shy, and he would like feed Mel Brooks lines, and Mel Brooks would say him and get all the credit for it all the time.
Really? Have you read Mel Brooks' biography? All About Me. It's a brilliant title, All About Me. I'm lucky enough I've met Mel a few times. I was a good friend of Carl Reiner.
Wow.
And they live nearby. And wow, what a hero of mine he is. And his book, All About Me, is wonderful. He also reads the audio book, and he sounds just like Mel Brooks. It's just great and lovely stories. He was in the Second World War as a young grunt, or whatever they call them. He's just, I mean, Mel's, a good gift to us all, isn't he?
Wow, yeah totally. May he live forever.
Well, he's 99 now.
He is.
Right.
He's pushing it. Yeah, he's outlived Carl. I think Carl's 98. That was a great. It was during COVID, Carl died, and there was a semi-private Zoom, meeting. So for the memorial service, and one by one, the great and the good would stand up there and give their memories of Carl and tell stories. The Billy Crystals of this world. He was brilliant, of course. And then pride of place at the end was given to Mel, because Mel used to go over to Carl's house every night and watch television and eat ice cream, and they'd watch Jeopardy. Yeah. Mel started off by saying, Carl Reiner, I never liked the guy. We all just cracked it. He'd never let go of the remote. It's just fantastic. They were something together. Yeah.
Wow. You know what you said to me about rather have professionals do it, occurred to me that's where I started out. I wanted to be a songwriter, but I think the Beatles and even before that, Buddy Holly and people who became singer-songwriters, they ruined it for people who were just songwriters who wanted to have somebody else perform their material and kind of write the songs and go out there and leave it to a professional. At some point, it became, if you're going to do it, there were no such thing as just writers anymore. You had to go out and perform your own material.
And again, there's more than one way to skin a cat. I mean, look at the Monkees. When they came out, they were a rip-off tribute Beatles band who were very funny and meant to be great. And of course, they had all the talents of Tin Pan Alley, like Carole King writing for them. And she's a great songwriter. Just because you've got the ability to write, because some people, Lennon and McCartney, are great songwriters, and Harrison wasn't bad. It doesn't mean the rest of them have to do it, and there are plenty of people who can't. I've done quite a lot of songwriting. I've translating translating operas and writing lyrics for songs that are in movies with composers here, and it's a different speed. It's a different. So I work with a well-known director called Albert Marr, a stage director. He created Kismet and Man of La Mancha. He was the one who taught me how to think like a lyricist. He said, Richard, you write good lyrics, but you don't think like a lyricist. So I'm going, what? I knew there's a black belt note level coming, a black belt level note, and he explained to me that a lyricist would take 6 pages of your script and turn it into a 20-line song. Simple. Wow. So you move the story 6 pages in one song. You boil it down. You condense the movement. And then, thought, that's how a lyricist should think. And from then on, you don't get taught that. You don't get those notes very often in life from experts who know that.
You had thrown me for a second because you say you didn't think like a lyricist, and I was thinking in terms of, because I used to be a poet, or I fancied myself a poet in high school.
Me too, absolutely.
But nobody really liked poet. I mean, you had to die for people to appreciate your poetry. And so I decided that I would become a musician and turn my poems into lyrics. Yeah. And then if I became a famous musician, then I could release my book of poems of what the original poems were for those lyrics.
That is very shrewd and cunning of you. That's a great idea. But, it's just like the times, it's like as if the novel is dying now because people are not reading because they're all on their phones for 10 seconds at a time, which is not true, by the way. But 200 years ago, like 1820 time, 2030, Sir Walter Scott, who wrote all those historical novels like Ivanhoe and Rob Roy, he was paid 1,000 guineas, £1,000 and 1,000 shillings to write a new epic poem. And then you could bought an entire village for that money in those days.
You could have got 1,000 guineas from Italy for that kind of money.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
A guinea for like a GUI, and that was £1
okay.
1 shilling.
I misheard your guinea. I misinterpreted.
Yeah,
well,
no,
that's what it
fine.
is. It was a form of currency.
I prefer to be called a WAP if we. I'm sorry. I'm just.
I like G.D. Fenderson's joke better. That's good. That's a good one. Anyway, so yeah, in those days you could make a lot of money as a poet if you're a Tennyson or just like anyway, those days have gone. Nobody reads poetry anymore to that level, because actually also people don't write poetry to that level anymore.
That's true. That's true.
My friend Karen Jonas writes poetry, but it's erotic poetry, and she's so hot that I have to read it. So there's that.
Erotic poetry. Well, that's a rich vein of comedy right there.
With interviewing a lot of authors, I've been given some really bad advice on purpose because I know it's bad advice, and I like to trick people into taking bad advice. But it was part of the bad advice because a lot of them think in terms of, I'd love to have my book made into a movie, and I tell them, well, you know what, you need to do the script yourself. Don't wait for somebody else to do a screenplay adaptation. Learn to write scripts rather than novels. Your career has gone the opposite way. You started writing scripts and became a novelist, right? What's the difference?
Okay, they're the same but different. They're different disciplines within the same discipline. They're different forms. For example, in a screenplay, there is no narrative. It's all you give very few stage directions. Most directors don't want stage directions unless it's important to say that the man comes in with a chainsaw chasing the woman or something, if you're writing that sort of film.
Living room.
Yeah, exactly.
Living room.
That's in the slug line, interior living room day. But otherwise, there's no narrative. And when you're writing books, there's the narrative, so you've got the author's voice. But you also want to bring it alive and make it happen. You don't want to tell people the scene, you want to show it to them. So in novels, you're doing both. Screenplays, you're not. So if you can learn how to do the different forms, it's just like having another string to your bow, like writing lyrics or writing libretti for operas or musical books, poetry, anything. It's another form of writing and expression and basically getting the story across and the people and the characters. So in the first book in my series, New Rock, New Roll, ROLE, I've written the screenplay for that because the producer wanted it. And, as I'd done a lot of adaptation before, it was very easy for me because I knew the story inside out. I know the form of writing, and the actual book is 150,000 words or whatever, and the screenplay took less than a week. It's just a matter of, but if you don't know how to write the form, it takes a bit of a while to learn it.
I was writing a screenplay for a pilot, script for a pilot. The script for a pilot, and I had to learn because I've written sketches, and I knew how to write sketches. But I didn't know how to, and that kept, the formula is like, no, you don't do this, you don't do that. It has to be this blocking and that, and it was crazy.
It's so much easier now. You got so much help. You got a final draft is what everyone uses now. That was
right.
And
I tried that.
It gives you, if you want to write an episode of Friends or something, you could get the Friends template, and it's already got the characters written in it, and it's got the scene breaks and how many. And whatever the style of that show is, it tells you, you need 3 to 4 pages for the teaser and 8 to 12 pages for the first act, or whatever the formula.
Right, they have their little formulas.
Really helpful.
So if I could just kind of get experted, a real advice, because I've been giving this advice to authors because there is this frustration that not just corporate Hollywood and all this stuff, but even independent filmmakers don't want. There's so many good stories and good authors out there now with good stories, but they seem to just want to fall back on the latest Marvel movie, Marvel comic book stuff, or Spider-Man, or all these things, and the frustration with that. So is it truly bad advice to say write your own script and save them some time so that they can get a visual kind of on this, or don't make them read the book?
Absolutely, why not? It's not. If you're a writer, some writers who've really good writers find it very hard to write. They find it a struggle. I think Douglas was like that, even though he just didn't. He'd rather do anything else but write. He was really good at it. But Damon Runyon, the short story writer, it was agony for him to write a paragraph, and he writes. He has a voice unlike nobody, unlike everybody, unlike anybody. He's a wonderful writer. I find it relatively easy to write when I'm going. If I don't have an idea, I can't write anymore. I used to be able to in the old days because you'd be getting a check and you say, well, I got to get this out by tomorrow. But if an idea doesn't appeal to me these days, it just doesn't spark the thing. But if I got one, I've just finished something yesterday and sent it off. And that was just like being on that's what you love, is when you get on that train, and you just, where the hell's this going? It's like, it's not a straightforward train. It's a roller coaster, and you're going round and round and getting the thing and wrestling it into shape and being thrown about by it. That's the best feeling.
Listen. I definitely agree. For me, I love the process. I love finding out, starting with an idea and letting it tell me where it's going. But
Absolutely.
number of people I've talked to lately said they don't enjoy the process, and that baffles me. They enjoy
Why the hell
completing
are you
it, getting
doing
it
it?
done.
God, there's
Yeah.
enough. Look, there's 5 million books published a year now, because it used to be 500,000. But with self-publishing, there's all these books coming out. If you don't enjoy the process, why on earth are you doing it? That's just.
Right.
I mean, it's not saying that the process is like sitting on a beach with a with a big fruit cup full of umbrellas and rum. That's one thing. But this is the enjoyment of a really good struggle. Like if you're in a sport competition, you're playing sport against another team. That's exhausting by the end of it. But God, it's worth it. No, I don't do this if you don't have the drive.
Right. Last night I had an author on who he sold 3 million books, and to me, in today's day and age, that is like it's like Hall of Fame numbers, because so many of the authors struggle to sell 3,000 books. So you sell 3 million books.
Good for him. That's definitely Hall of Fame stuff.
Well, yeah. But we were talking about the collaborative process.
Matt, I'm sorry, Matt. You mean 3 million separate books, like separate titles, or 3 million of the same book?
He has 20 books for 3 million copies. He sold.
Okay. All right.
But we were talking about the collaborative process, because there are 2 different series that he does where he works with other authors, and I was like, that I can understand that in music, I can understand that in comedy somewhat, but in a novel, I can't understand how that. It's not like you're sitting in the same room and what do you think about this paragraph? What do you think about this sentence? And all that kind of stuff. Do you collaborate, or are you? Because he said he did. The reason he does that is he shuns the solitary experience. I was like, that's why you become an author, for the solitary experience, because you love that quiet time. What's your take on that?
I tend to agree with you for writing novels. But I've done both, in obviously in a room full of writers and stuff on TV shows and anything else. You're working with people. You've got to get used to that. And of course, editors give you amazing feedback, and then you punch the book up and really polish it. I know people who write, some people write alternate chapters. And one writes one and one writes the other, and then they merge them together, and they as it were edit and polish each other's chapters up. You've got to have a relationship where you understand that is what you want to do, because quite often I guess that could feel like other people interfering with your work, which is a mindset you have to get over as soon as you can, because they're not there to harm, they're there to help. No, I've never co-written a book or anything that that narrative style, but I love collaborating with everyone from the producers on down, directors, actors, everyone who's giving you input and feedback, and you're all trying to make the thing as good as it can be. Sometimes, of course, there are idiots interfering and getting in the way, but that's just
that was the point I made to him. I like when it comes together, the production and performance part of it, collaboration, but in the writing, I prefer to be alone with my own thoughts in that stuff. And if somebody else is giving me too much feedback, I don't think I could ever get anything done, because I'd be constantly changing and constantly having discussions about stuff. Whatever. The writing is separate from performance.
Completely bloody. I mean, you remember the Canadian rock band Rush? Them? They're a great prog rock. Well, they had one of the great all-time drummers, Neil Peart. Who, the joke was, what? Drummers use metronomes use Neil Peart. He's that good. And I saw him interviewed on, he died recently, I saw him interviewed on YouTube, and he said, what a writer's partner has, I think he said wife, but what a writer's partner or wife has to understand is that when he's looking out the window, he's still working.
Yes.
Because you are. Yeah. And I wander around the kitchen. My wife is also an artist, so if I'm wandering around the kitchen thinking about something, or she comes up and I don't see her coming and she says something, I jump out of my skin, because I'm often off with the fairies, as they say.
My wife and I have been together for 23 years, and I fancy myself being a creative, and so quite often if I'm not saying something, or she'll start talking, she's realized that my brain is already engaged in something, even though I'm out there. And like, even though my eyes are pointed at something, I'm not seeing it. That wall or that thing has been replaced with another whole world that I'm imagining, and in my head.
Yeah, I know. It takes some getting used to. Once you, and other people quite often don't. Oh, I get it. You're working, but sometimes we love having guests staying with us, and it happens all the time. But they just leave us alone. You know, we'll see you at cocktail hour. 6:15, we'll all meet up for a glass of something in the kitchen. Meanwhile, you're on your own. Some people love that. You don't see them for weeks, and others come to you at 10 o'clock in the morning and knock on the door and say, "What are you doing this morning?" And you say,
Now, it's seeing you, literally just seeing you, because we didn't talk at all. That's fine. Again, coming back to last night, the author was a sci-fi author who had a very strong science background. He was a biochemist, was his degree, and he had a real strong science background. But he writes science fiction, and a lot of it becomes speculative science, like it's not true to the science. It's not verified science. It's the kind of you're stretching the envelope a little bit in this stuff. Do you have a scientific background and science in your background at all to write sci-fi?
Well, in his case, it's not science yet. Hasn't been discovered yet. A lot of things have been predicted, like robots by Asimov, for example. They come along later. I don't write science fiction. I write fantasy. And my world is set in another sort of sword and sorcery world, like the medieval, as it were, with monsters and mayhem and madness going on. And they came out of my love of role-playing games. But yeah, I mean, science fiction is fascinating stuff, and it's all about what if. It's so much better than, in many ways, for me, than writing or reading realistic modern fiction. I studied literature and language. So it's my degree at Oxford University, and so I read a great deal as younger, and I understand the great novels and how good they are. But a lot of modern novels are, as Kingsley Amis said, people being miserable in Fulham, in the suburbs, just in real life, and of course in a made-up world, a speculative world. You can go anywhere and do anything, and more things are possible because you can't fly if you're in Fulham. But if you're writing a science fiction book, you can invent a machine that makes you fly.
It's interesting that you said I don't write science fiction. I write fantasy, because New Rock, New Rules, the New Rock series is, at least on Amazon, in science fiction and fantasy. Like they combine the two. And I would think, because New Rock, it just feels very science fiction-y. And the cover.
Yeah, but how the actual science of how our heroes who win a world championship of online gaming end up in another planet where they've never expected, they're useless and they're beginners, and things go terribly wrong from the beginning, and that's how the science works is irrelevant. That's not part of the story. It's all explained at the end. But what is interesting is, here we are, here's the problem, how do we solve it? And it's in this world that came out of gaming, where you've got the magic and real, dragons, although mine are chicken-sized. And
I get it. But
Richard, what part of the UK were you raised in or born?
I was born in London, then raised in Gloucestershire, which is about 90 miles west of London, the Cotswolds. It's now rather shishy and full of.
The reason why I ask is, when you create your worlds, like for Jarland. Jarland.
Yeah.
Okay. When you create the worlds for Jarland, is somebody familiar with Gloucestershire? If they're familiar with that, are they going to see parts of that book?
They might. I mean, it's the same part of the world that Tolkien came from. He came from Herefordshire, which is just a bit west. Hereford, Worcester, Gloucester. They're all the sort of west country on the borders of Wales, and the Shire is the land in Lord of the Rings, and it's very similar to a British Shire out in the sticks rather than a city. So we all plough the furrow that we're familiar with, and then what you do in fiction is you make it new, you refresh it.
It's because, again, coming back to just the author's perspective here, because I talk to so many authors, and I think the publishing industry, as you mentioned, 5 million new books every year, and I think that's being very conservative. I think it's probably more like 10, but it's so competitive out there that the publishing industry wants you to just be in a really tight box. You're just writing science fiction, you're just writing fantasy. To put them together seems like you might be kind of, I don't know, not making both audiences, people who are just into fantasy or people who are just into science fiction, a little, I don't know if this is for me, like that point of it. Does that, any of that concern you when writing? Do you think about the audience and who's going to actually pick the book up and or be attracted to it?
Well, for a start, the conventions like Worldcon, they're science fiction and fantasy conventions. So the two are overlapping. You could think of a Venn diagram or one of those science fiction, mathematical things. They have a lot in common in that they're speculative worlds, whether it's a sciencey one or a magicy one.
Right.
Otherwise they are different. But it's the audiences are usually people who want to look at alternatives rather than just reality. T.S. Eliot, the great poet, said humankind cannot bear very much reality. I'm kind of with him on that because reality reality is scary. I mean, look what's happening in the world these days. And we need to escape. We need alternatives to think about.
Oh, you're absolutely right. This is a time for escapism. But T.S. Eliot reminds me of April is coming up. He's famous for that. April is the cruelest month. And every year, like in mid-March, I start to panic. Now you got me. It's early March, and I'm already panicking about the haunting of T.S. Eliot coming up.
How are your camels doing? Are they galled, sore-footed, refractory?
Yes.
Have a quick. Is when you're writing your characters, is there one character that has forced you to grow more as an individual than any of the others?
Yeah, because the premise is that there are these three people who they've never met in real life, but one of them is basically me. He's the narrator. So the books are told in the first person story, except later they get different points of view as well. So some chapters are first, some are third. But he's basically the leader of the team, as it were, the battle mage the healer in the team, and the other two he's never met, and they have different roles in the team. But when you're doing first-person narration, you tend to basically identify, or at least follow the voice of the person who's telling the story, because it's this immediate, I was doing this, I was doing that, then this happened to us, rather than they did this, they did that, which is traditional third-person narrative. So yes, you do associate with the narrator, and of course in this new world he's not a middle-aged old fart like me. He's young again. He's his own avatar. He created this avatar and suddenly he is the guy, and he's useless.
The narration is something I've been kind of talking to people about, because audiobooks, they're obviously essential now. It used to be just an extra. Now it's a totally essential. Do you do your own narration?
Yes, I do. And my agent says she sells she sells audiobook rights for double what she sells physical book rights for these days. And I do my own narration. I wasn't sure about it at first, but my producer Fred Sanders, who did the Game of Thrones books, he said, look, everyone wants to hear what the author sounds like. You don't have to. If you can't do that accent, I could do some of the accents really well because they're English, and others less so. And he said, don't worry, just go for it, because you know what the words sound like. And if you don't sound exactly like, Anoki from Muskogee or whatever, no, there aren't in my books, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
just go for it, have fun. And I, as I'm older and wearing these things now, which I didn't used to do, I find reading. Glasses. I find reading a lot harder. I read a book on a plane recently from LA to Boston, I think, and by the end of it, my eyes were doing this. 5 hours with a book. But with an audio book, I go for a walk every day. I listen for an hour and a half, and I've got some guy in my ears or woman in my ears telling me a story, and I love it. It's just it's opened up a whole new area for me, is listening to audiobooks.
It's a totally different experience, but I maybe it's just my I prefer to know it. I'm listening to the author, so I'm getting the story from a guy who really understands it rather than somebody else's interpretation. Even if you are directing them, it feels like if it goes to a third person, it's. And I know a lot of authors are hung up about, well, I don't have a radio voice and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Still, as a consumer, I prefer to know that you're really feeling this. You're the person who created this. I don't know. I feel
well. That's exactly what Fred said to me. He said, "Don't," because we're living in Los Angeles. This is Los Angeles, and I said, "Well, there's so many good English actors here or coming here." And he said, "No, don't get an actor. Do it yourself." And he's an actor as well as he does a lot of audiobooks as well as directing them, producing them. So he said,
unless it's
just
Orson
go for
Welles.
it.
If we could dig up Orson Welles to do it, that would be a different story.
Yes, but you'd have to give him cash in a bag, wouldn't you? Because Orson was permanently broke.
Yeah. But he served no wine before it was time, so there you have that. Another messed up part of my childhood, Orson Welles' influence on me. Building worlds, because I talked to a lot of authors about developing characters. Building worlds is kind of an extension of that, right? It's just letting you act, but with characters, sometimes people will actually draw avatars and stuff and have like paragraphs of their whole backstory and all that kind of stuff. With building worlds, what goes in? Do you put a lot of time into and notes into kind of what that world is about?
Yeah, I didn't actually make notes about the world. I make notes about the story all the time. I have a separate file with the outline, which I'm building while I'm writing the story. Go back in and out of the outline, get the chapters sorted, because you've got to be able to stand outside the story and see it from an overview as well as inside writing it going forwards. The actual world just unfolds. It's a fantasy world. You can go anywhere and do anything. The main thing is it has to be logical. You can't suddenly drop in something that's not been foreshadowed. You can't say you can't have surprises coming that aren't logical surprises. I mean, audiences love surprises. Well, audiences love surprises, but it's got to work. You've all read books where you go, I don't know, that wouldn't happen. But if
I have, but I always feel like it's me that's just not getting it. Like I go with it because I think, well, everybody else must know what this is about. Why a dragon just came in out of the window.
Well, see, that's very generous of you. To be quite honest, it shouldn't come out and you go, what? It's my fault. I'm stupid. It's kind of you to give the author that courtesy, but I would suggest that the author all story structure is very simple. It's setup and payoff. If you want something to pay off one way, or for the story rather not than you, if the story demands to be paid off in a certain way, let the audience know earlier that something's coming. Set up something and then develop it and put the twists together. And by the time you get to the end and the big reveal, you got me. Of course that makes sense. Yes, why didn't I see that coming? That's what
that seems to be a common thread between like good comedy, even good illusionists. Like good magicians, good storytellers. Well, basically, they're all storytellers, comedians, magicians. They're all basically telling a story. Songwriters, so they're telling a story, then they have to have the setup and the payoff.
Yeah, every song is a story.
So the difference is how many words they're using between the setup and the payoff. A comedian should use like this many words, while a novelist will use this many words.
And they both have one thing in common: it's that they should never use words that you don't need. In a novel, you're free to go anywhere and do anything and explore and take your time. And in a 3-minute song, you've got a limited amount of syllables that you want to use, and you want them all to punch above their weight. And that's
so
a matter of boiling down.
Every creative endeavor, that the economy of words is so important, and it's a one rule that I see people struggle. Not a rule, but just an idea that some people. It takes forever for a setup sometimes. It's like, it would have been a great joke if you could have limited the setup to maybe 10 seconds instead of 10 minutes.
Absolutely right. And when I started working with my editor, Leslie Robin, who's brilliant, on the New Rock series. The first book, New Rock, New Role, ROLE, comes out of my love of role-playing games. When she got the manuscript, the publisher offered to publish the series on the condition I had a developmental edit. Absolutely, the one thing I love is working with a good editor. And I got her first lot of notes back before we had the Zoom call to say, yes, let's all go ahead with this. And I read her notes, and she was explaining, this is how I do notes for a book. Not doing the notes, but then the first note she actually had in it was cut the first line. And I'm just sitting there going, that's genius. I mean, that's just brilliant. I'd never seen that, because the first line was like a springboard. I think it was from memory. What was it? A long time ago. Something like, the next few minutes we knew would change our lives forever. And the second line was, nobody remembers who comes second. And Leslie said, that's your first line. That tells you everything. It's a contest. There's something going on. There's an event happening. You don't need that other line. And I just go, I'm in safe hands here. So when you get someone as perceptive as that giving you good notes, it just is, you're off to the races. You go, I can't wait to jump in and polish.
But have anyone?
I got to make a clip of that.
But has anyone suggested that you get rid of a sentence? The sentence wasn't needed, but I really like that sentence. I like the way that sentence sounds.
That's something that happens. Well, and that's what's that old line about, right? You have to kill your darlings or something. It basically means you just got to know that sometimes you've got too much material in there and get rid of that because it's getting in the way. But you just learn to cut, you learn to trim. But what Leslie's done for me, which is brilliant, was she kept saying, I love this relationship. You got the hero and a lump of wood and they have a relationship. I want more of it. That's a real character you've got there. Make it happen, make more. So I went, okay, let's go in there and dig. And she spotted an opportunity for really not embellishing, exploiting something that's just waiting to be exploited. And I go, you know what? Let's do that. So it's not just cut this and cut that and trim this. It's sometimes, you're nearly there, but I want more.
I was working with another writer, comedian guy named Dylan Brody out of Los Angeles, and
name drop a little. Why don't you?
It's only name dropping if people know who the hell he is.
I know who Dylan is. All right, guys.
You know Dylan Brody? Okay. So there was something I presented to him, a writing exercise, and he looks at it and he goes, I can see why you think these two things belong together, but they should be separate entities. This is one thing, this is the other. He goes, I can see why you think they belong together, but they don't.
That's why you need other eyes on the prize. I mean, we've all...
I fired him. No, I'm just teasing. No. So the fuck do you know? And I fired him right away.
Here's a really useful tip. Tell yourself there's no such thing as a bad note. Now, it's a lie. Of course, there are bad notes. But if you get in the frame of mind of there's no such thing as a bad note, you get a note back from a producer who's reading tons of stuff, is busy, doesn't have the time to really concentrate, whatever. You get a note. Then you go, wait, well, what? The problem is that I haven't explained what I'm doing well enough. So you go where same idea that you were trying to do before, but you put it in a form that the person can really grasp. I was going to say understand, but that sounds patronizing. And you go back and say, I took your note, I delivered. Thank you for that great note. Here it is. And they usually say, well done. Good. Next note, cool. Next problem.
I used to write sketches for a podcast, and they had two rules, which to me, it was like one rule was they had a word count, but they also had a time limit for the sketch. And I always ignored the word count because I said this, because the word count is not the final product. It's like the sketch, if you want the sketch to be 4 minutes and 10 seconds long, no more than that. It doesn't matter how many words I use, as long as it ends at 4:09 or 4:10. And he and I used to argue all the time. He goes like, you have too many words. I said, no, you don't understand my pacing. And it got to the point where I was just winding up editing all my own stuff. He didn't even edit anymore. Because I'd say, the pacing is not what you think. You're hearing it like, probably like 60 beats per minute. And I'm doing it at like 80 beats per minute.
And you're on the bus with a head full of some disgusting speeding drug and you're going at 90 miles. I mean, look when Robert Williams got on stage and he was not that but he could go a million miles an hour, and sometimes comedians are great just standing there looking at you. and you see the joke coming and you're in stitches and they're not saying anything. They all work. So, and anyway, there's drafts. You write your first draft and it's a 6-minute sketch, and then you punch it up and boil it down, and there's your 4 minutes 10 seconds.
Yeah, I've had many conversations with people who write horror, and almost every one of them agrees that horror is comedy, and comedy, there's a big part of every horror story that includes comedy. Does fantasy necessarily, because I don't equate the two in the same way. It's easy to blend fantasy and comedy in a way that doesn't distract the reader from the journey of the fantasy adventure.
Two things. First of all, have you ever been on the set of a horror movie? Everyone's sitting around giggling with their, bolts through their necks or blood, or waiting to go on and talk. So it's usually often a very relaxed, fun, hip sort of feel to everyone. Knows it's a joke, and then they go on, they scare the crap out of you, and they think that's they have a relationship. But also what Hitchcock would do was he would scare you in one scene and then make you laugh to give you some relief. Because if you keep scaring and then scaring and then scaring, you're repeating the effect, and it dissipates. You want to give them a break, do something else, then scare them again. Yeah. Now, in comedy and horror have a great deal in common. Why? Because comedy is all about things going wrong. It's about disasters. It's about people falling into puddles and mistakes and misunderstandings and betrayals that are not betrayals or whatever. So the structure of the things is exactly the same. Often it's pacing. But this is why I emphasize the fact that my books have a light touch to them. And there are some funny scenes in there. They're not piss take, they're not spoof adventures, but they're real adventures, and funny things happen in the middle of terrible things in real life. That's just the way it is. And it's the same. And laughter is a reaction of surprise, often a reaction of shock. And so they naturally fit together. And quite often we get people in my books going around and they're on their way to somewhere or in the middle of something, and a daft conversation turns up between them as they don't understand. They're just talking at cross purposes, as simple as that. Or else there's a physical element to the comedy. It's completely natural for me that suddenly you don't have to say, oh, this is a horror show, I've got to be horrible all the time. That would be missing a trick. Use both.
Does it age well though? Because sometimes you're in horror, the moments you're supposed to be scared end up being the moments you laugh at, and I think that's just because it didn't age well. Right?
That's a whole nother thing. When you get camp and you go and see a movie that's so bad it's hysterical. Oh man, don't we love those? You go, how did they make this terrible turkey? But that's laughing at rather than laughing with. And what you want to do, if you combine, is get people laughing with, get people enjoying with, and people digging the absurdity of the scene at the moment, knowing that there's a serious or a proper story going on there, and it's that light touch. Which is
now, Richard, you were a comedian at one point, or were you?
No, well, not really. I mean, I did student comedy reviews at Edinburgh Festival and things when I was a student at Oxford University and later. And that's the sort of tradition of not the 9 o'clock news. No, that was later. Beyond the Fringe, Monty Python, all those people would go up to the Edinburgh Festival while students and do their comedy shows. And it was usually that Oxford University had one team and Cambridge had another team, and we'd all meet and make friends. Douglas Adams was part of the Cambridge lot when I was part of the Oxford lot. Mel Smith, who was a very successful British TV comedian. He's actually in the film The Princess Bride, Rob Reiner's film. He's a part in that. Plays the man with albinism, and Mel was delightful. So he was the same generation as me, same year as me. Douglas was the same.
The one that goes like, "Don't even think." I'm sorry. Don't even think I'm trying to escape.
Yeah,
that's him.
Yeah.
Welcome to the pit of despair. I'm sorry. Don't even think I'm trying to leave.
Wow.
Well, actually, I guess I had a bad setup for my question because back in the day, British comedy and U.S. comedy had some slight differences. I think. But I'm trying to think. It's like I'm trying to remember how it was worded to me. Like, for example, in British comedy, over here we had a problem with showing tits. Okay, you the
Americans are obsessed with tits. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but if you showed
In
them,
France,
it
they're
was
everywhere. You know.
yeah, but in British comedy, it's like your naked woman's like, no big deal.
No big deal.
Right. So we had different perspectives on like nudity and violence and stuff like
Well,
that.
that's American Puritanism for you, you know.
Yeah, but over the years, have you found that there's, because of like the internet and stuff like that, because of us sharing our medium so much, that is there less of a divide between the comedies?
Absolutely right. You've nailed it. We're so used to watching each other's work now that it translates very easily across the Atlantic. In the old days, there were British comedians who would go to America, be big successes, and desperate to conquer America, and they'd fail. But then later, and I think it's a class thing, I think when you get the university wits, what do they call the Saturday Night Lives and the Monty Pythons and stuff, they seem to work at that level where the audience that they find is very similar, or very open-minded, or very knows about each other's culture, rather than the traditional, more working class stand-up comedians in the old days. Now, of course, stand-up comedy is everyone's doing it, and has been for 20 or 30 years. And you got the great geniuses I mentioned earlier, like Robin Williams and Steve Martin. And on the British side, we got lovely old Billy Connolly, the Scottish.
Yes.
And it works. It does travel across well, provided it's the right audience and they hit it well. And Eddie Izzard is very big over here in America.
Yes, I love Eddie Izzard.
When I was a kid, one of my favorite... Let me just make this point there. I agree with what you say there, but I also feel like we've lost something in that when I first discovered Python, like in the early 70s or whatever, that was just such a unique specialty that it stood out as this is something completely different.
If you may quote,
right?
Yeah, it was. Right. I remember seeing it when it came out in England a few years earlier. I remember seeing one, and I'm thinking, what the hell is this? It was Eric Idle's in a bed with the guitar, and Carol Cleveland was nibbling his ear, and he was saying, and here's a song for Mrs. So-and-so in one. And what am I watching? And then, of course, I realized it was meant to be funny, and became a huge fan. And I've worked with all of them except Terry Gilliam, but I've met him.
In a way, we've lost that, wow, this is totally unique because of the blending and we all seeing each other's work and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That
it's all up on
we've
YouTube,
lost a little bit of like, this is the uniqueness of it.
I never saw the show of shows until 10 years ago, 10, 15 years. It didn't exist in England. And then you see Sid Caesar and those amazing performances, and you think, wow, Saturday Night Live's got nothing on this lot. So we've lost the surprise indeed, but it's really great. Look, the whole the Python's going back to 1975. I mean, how long have you got? When it came over to America, it was finished in England. The show was over.
Right.
The BBC was about to scrap the tapes and use them again for recording football games.
Yeah,
I believe
God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, some guy and some editor called Terry Jones up and said, they're gonna reuse your tapes. They're gonna tape over your shows. So he got in the car and he drove down to the BBC, and he went to the person and said, "You can't do this. This is our life's work." "Oh, but we need the tapes. They're very expensive.
I'll buy you tape. I'll buy you new tape."
That's where he went. He said, "We need it for Match of the Day tonight. It's Derby County are playing Nottingham Forest. We need the tape." And Terry said, "Well, how much do they cost?" "Well, they're £90 each." And Terry said, "Well, what can I buy them from you and buy you new tapes?" And that appealed because in the old days, the 2-inch videotapes, they would stretch. So after 6 generations, 6 uses, the tape would be less wonderful than it had been when it was new. So they actually said, "Oh yes, so wow, new tapes, they'd love that." So Terry drove home with a car full of Monty Python in the back. And if it hadn't been for that guy calling Terry and saying meh, and I told I was remembering this story with someone else in England the other day or a year or so ago, and they said, "No, that wasn't what happened at all." So I don't know, but anyway, that's what I was led to understand.
That's the same story I heard.
Yeah, exactly. So he's got the tapes, and then he can sell them. They own the copyright. So when it went over to America, and my writing partner Gail Renard, who's head of our British Writers Guild twice, she was a young Canadian writer at the time, and she saw Python live on Canadian TV in 75, and it had been over in Europe. It was gone. And then suddenly it became this hit in America. And after that, everything grew out of that. And with people like George Harrison, put the money up for The Life of Brian. It would never have happened without George. He said, I want to see this film. I'm going to pay for it. And he mortgaged his house to pay for it. Unbelievable. Wow. So all those little connections and then we've got this classic piece that now will be there forever.
Now, when I was a grad, one of my favorite British shows was, aside from the variety shows, I used to love Benny Hill, and I think it was David Allen, or was it Allen?
Dave Allen, yeah.
Allen at Large, I think it was called.
Dave Allen,
yeah. So I used to love the bus, but there was a show called Doctor in the House.
Oh yeah. That was
I loved that show, and of course, I think I was the only one in my school who watched that show. I'd come in the next day and I'd be like acting it out for people because we didn't have video recorders and stuff back then.
Yeah, I knew the writers on that. I mean, there was various writers on it. I think Graham Chapman wrote for that because he already was a doctor. Why do I have that idea? Well, he was a brilliant writer, obviously, but no, there were some good shows. Look at All in the Family, your American show. That's a British show called Till Death Us Do Part.
Right.
Alf Mitchell doing the lead. Alf Garnett, sorry, what's his name? Warren Mitchell playing the part that was later played by Archie Bunker, Carol Connor. So they bought the show. Lear Company bought the show and turned it from a British show into an American show. And
Sanford and Son,
same idea, done. It was refreshed and done brilliantly, and become a classic.
That's the first I've heard of that. I just learned something about that. So
we have pilfered, the U.S. has pilfered a lot of shows from the U.K. Like aside from the Office, we stole that.
Right.
But there's some shows that we never stole. Like, so I don't think we ever stole Doctor in the House. Maybe I think maybe no, what's it called? There's one with the orderlies with black guy and white guy. I'm trying to think. Scrubs. It's probably the closest thing to Doctor in the House, but that's with years removed. There's a show called Who's Minding the Store, I think it was called. Am I getting that right?
Do you mean?
I think so.
Are You Being Served? Is that the one?
Are You Being Served? Yes. Are You Being Served?
Very camp, very old-fashioned. Yes. At the time when I was watching that come out, I'm going, dear God, are people still in this as comedy? Really? And now you look at it, and it's got this lovely historical sheen of camp awfulness to it, which makes it just brilliant. But at the time, it was kind of like wading through treacle for me watching that. And the jokes are so obvious. Now they're so obvious, they're just
but I used to love to watch it. But there's some, like I said, there's some shows that we never stole that I liked. I guess I don't know if they're either unstealable, like once they're so iconic that you can't steal them, like you can't duplicate Python.
I think there's a line between direct stealing, outright stealing, and then like lots of influence. So there are like shows that definitely were inspired by and like use a lot of the influence from that don't appear as being direct stealing. But
ideas are out there in the world. How often have we seen, several people in several countries have the same idea all at once? There's just something in the air.
They're all stealing from me.
No, they're just sometimes there is a great deal of theft that goes on in this business. Yes, of course. And a friend of mine, very embarrassing. He was doing a university review at Edinburgh the year after I'd left, and I was working, so I went up to see it, and it was quite good. There's some good stuff in it. And like a couple of days later, I'm meeting him in a pub, and he's white faced. He said, I can't tell you the name of the writer. He said, "It's all stolen." I said, "What?" He said, "The whole show." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, this guy, name redacted, he just got everything out of the Harvard Lampoon magazine or something." And somebody had come to see the show who went backstage after and said, "Do you realize you're doing all the sketches from?" And the director didn't. He said, "What are you talking about?" And the guy said, "Well, look here, I showed in the magazine. This is." So he went to the writer and said, "Excuse me, you stole all this." Well, yes, but I didn't think anyone would notice.
Well, that's weird because that redacted guy, he is all over the Epstein files. I'm surprised that he's not like arrested.
Oh yeah, nothing surprises me about the redacted guy.
He's all. Oh yeah, he's
Teflon.
He's in a lot of trouble. Is what I'm saying.
Oh God! Look, one day the truth will out. When he's out of power, and the files are released, we'll see that he's all over it, and we'll find the truth. But at the moment, they're desperately trying to bury it. I mean, that's why. And what about that?
Here we're burying everything, but across the pond, they're like Andrew. I mean, okay, they're not getting him for like.
Look at you trying to impress the British guy with across the pond. You can't just say on the other side of the ocean.
No, if I wanted to impress him, I would say Worcestershire correctly or Gloucestershire, but I have trouble with that. But
you have to, Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire. It's just
I'm trying to impress him. But
at least they're doing something in England about it, because that man is a total embarrassment, so entitled. But
Richard,
in America, the truth will out. Trump will one day be revealed to have done whatever it was he did.
But it's like watching. It's like watching that. It's like watching Al Capone trial all over again. With everything Al Capone did, they got him on tax evasion. We got all these people who are pedophiles that we're getting them on like jaywalking, not filing their taxes in a timely manner.
You want the absurdity of this? Look, for example, in Japan, I think they've changed it now, but the age of consent in Japan was until recently something like 13 or 14. And they must be scratching their head saying, well, he's having sex with a 17-year-old. What's wrong with that? It's just different cultures. It just occurred to me that but in America, anything under 18 is a crime. And so that is pedophilia, which just means, children. Pais is the Greek word for child. And so different cultures are looking at it in different ways. But it's clearly there has been wrongdoing. Epstein was a wrong 'un. There's no question about it. And one day we'll all know what had happened, and who knows? Donald Trump may be completely innocent, and his name may be.
Stop.
That's British comedy. He's a comedy writer.
That's real British comedy right there.
Well, he's in the files 5,746 times on Tuesday alone. Pure coincidence. He may be just there because he's the window cleaner. We ought to know, but no, they're hiding it.
Yeah,
and we're all very suspicious.
What they call a young girl in Mar-a-Lago.
A window cleaner. Well, look, look. Here's the connections we're all making in our filthy minds, right? Epstein was a pedophile. Donald Trump was a friend of Epstein's. Therefore, Donald Trump must have been up to the same sort of stuff. This has not been proven. This third one. This is allegedly.
But Trump himself alludes to it when he talks about having bought the Miss Teen USA, and it allows him to go checking out the teens in the locker room because now he owns the contest.
Well, I don't know if that's any more than allegedly, but
And I heard with his own mouth. There was a young girl coming to the escalator. He was going down the escalator. The girl was like 11 or 12 years old. And he looks at her and goes, in a few years, I'm going to be dating her. And they said, she's 12. I think he said, she's gorgeous or something. They said, she's 12 years old. And he goes, well, in a few years, I'll be dating her.
And it's not funny. It's not funny when Trump says it because he's a creep. He's always been a predatory creep. But when Steve Martin says it, and he's doing that song where he says, 12's not that far from 18. I might as well put in a little groundwork. That's Steve Martin being funny, but it's a creepy thing to do. To laugh at three middle-aged men laughing at the fact that there are victims, and these are young people.
Oingo having a song, I like little girls.
Epstein did pick on women who were vulnerable.
Yes,
who didn't had worried, troubled backgrounds, and he was definitely a predator. Donald Trump happens to be his best friend, and it may be absolutely as innocent as what's something that's really not very innocent.
Marie Antoinette.
Boy, this conversation went places I never thought it would go, but that's fine. I want to apologize to you because we've done a really terrible job at promoting your books.
Crap. Who needs books promoted? They're drivel. Don't bother them. Look, if you want to find out about them, go to richardsparks.com, and there are free chapters out there you can listen to, and up there, and you can download an audio chapter, or you can get a printed chapter and see if you like it. And if you do, there are 4 books in the series. The 4th book comes out at the end of this year, and the story is complete. So if you want to come in and have a good time,
that's unusual. 4 books 4 books is it's usually either 3 or 5, and it's kind of like the odd number thing. I don't know if that's like a superstition or stuff.
No, it's just the story completed itself after 4 books. I can easily go on and write. I'm attempting to write sequels, but they'll probably have a different generation as the heroes. You start again. It's the same. Basically, it's the same rule as television writing. The same but different. If you're
doing one thing I want to tell people, after a conversation we had a couple of days ago, I did not know that in Canada, local libraries, you call them up and they are almost obligated, if you're a member of their community, to order the book for you. So I'm going to be putting together a list of Canadian libraries for anybody who's listening in Canada right now, for you to go there and tell them to order the book. This is a way to boost sales for our authors that I've been on in the U.S. here, but Canada, I did not know they were obligated. If you're a member of the community. Yeah.
Well, that'd be great. I mean, I love Canada. Before going to university, I hitchhiked across from Montreal to Calgary and got a job in the Canadian Arctic. I was working on Prince Patrick Island. In those days, there was 35 foot of ice around the island, probably all melted now. And that was just a great adventure for a young man, to be up on what was then the magnetic North Pole. It moves every year.
Yeah. At some point, it's going to be in Siberia, and then the Russians will threw us all over because they were on the North Pole, and Santa will be a commie. And I'm sorry, no.
Love it. Yeah. What a great idea. Anyway, that was great. I loved that. Was a real adventure for a kid.
We really appreciate you slumming it and hanging out with us this morning, and you've been really fun to talk to, and I would love if you come back sometime, because it's been a really fun conversation. So,
well, thank you so much for having me. If you want me to come back when the 4th book, what's it called, New Rock, New Roads, comes out in November, by all means, just
you come back before then too.
Well,
yeah, please do that.
Anything for this is much better than sitting around writing and thinking, what am I going to write? Just waffling away.
As Matt will be quick to tell you, anybody named Richard, Matt knows I love Dick. So anytime you want to come back and be on the show, you're welcome. No, I'm sorry.
Dicks are us.
Yes, Dicks are us. No, that's
all
right. My wife is listening right now, going, "He what?"
Yeah, really. The secret is out. I mean, the closet doors just burst wide open, GD. I'll see you down at Thackeray's Wackham Club in West Hollywood in 10 minutes.
Oh man, well, we definitely appreciate you being here, and you're welcome back anytime. But certainly, when the 4th book comes out, please do come back. In the meantime, have a great day and enjoy that fire behind you. I want to go sit by that fire.
Well, it's fake. It's real gas, but fake wood. So it's just like everything else here in LA.
I noticed there was no sparks. I was watching because first I watched it to see if it was a virtual, and I could see that it was real fire, but I didn't see. But when there's wood, it's like sparks and little pops.
Yeah, it's plastic. Oh no, not plastic. What's it? Ceramic. Anyway, listen, thank you so much for having me, and that's been a fun. Thank you.
It was a lot of fun for us too. Have a great day, and bye for now. And don't be stranger. I do have some good news for you. This is weird that you brought this up, that you love Dick, because Dick wrote to me last night. He said, "Can I have another round?" Apparently, he has a new book out, so Dick will be scheduling a show. Dick from New Zealand, your friend. Dick.
Yeah.
Your daddy, Dick. I told him.
The one that was supposed to be replacing Will.
Yeah, Wyckoff or something like that. His last name. Anyway, he's gonna be coming back on the show just for you, because he knows how much you love Dick. Because
I'm glad he's coming back.
Yeah. So tomorrow,
and somebody out there somebody's confused by my statement out there. Going like, I didn't know that about GD. Is that what the D stands for?
Well, Ron has been telling us that in code for quite a while. I think Ron will be with us tomorrow. But tomorrow, my friend Tom, Big T Farrell, comedian, who has a series out called "Make It Make Sense," will be joining us. It's similar to the Long Island Sign Guy with the content that he's doing, but he's going to like historical landmarks and picking out like
gargoyles on the side of a building, but the gargoyles,
you're right.
Yeah, they're not. The gargoyles are not indigenous to this part of the country.
But they turn up in weird places, like New York Metropolitan Museum of Natural Art, and you see it, within the architecture there, they have all these gargoyles and lions and all. Like, what the hell were they thinking? Why are they so obsessed with stuff? And there's like Roman architecture in the middle of like Flushing Meadows Park. Like, what the hell is this doing here?
Roman architecture in the middle of Chinatown? No.
Make it make sense is the stuff, and it's very cool. And now he's getting recognized all over the country, more so than he ever did in comedy. So it's got to be kind of a mixed bag on that. Like, well, if I would have it would have been great to get this recognition doing stand up, but it's still got to feel good. Anyway, that's tomorrow for you. Big T, make it make sense. That's the show for you today, right? Oh, is there anything you want to tell people to do?
Yeah, I want them to check to start ordering your tickets for Spotlight on Insanity in Michigan and on April 4th. And why, as long as you're out there, you might as well walk around nappy.
What happened?
Walk around nappy.
to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen